with right now. Not all the data we're seeing is negative.
The Dow is up 566 points, NASDAQ up 291, the S&P 500 up by 92. Again, the high today around 100. We're almost there, 99 degrees in both Dallas and Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Novak Motors. Your next news update is at 2:30. I'm Eric Bushman. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP for the latest on Decision 2024. WBAP salutes Westworth Village. Thank you, Westworth Village, for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, all you beautiful Texans. Welcome back to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Let's go. All right, so the big news. We now know who the vice presidential pick is supposed to be. I mean, they've changed nominees on us before already this cycle, but it looks like it's going to be Kamala, and it looks like she's going to be on the ticket with Tim Walz. Well, you don't know a whole lot about Tim Walz. I don't know a whole lot about Tim Walz, but we're learning, and we're going to be sharing with each other over the course of the show, and I'd like to hear from you. Do you think this was the right pick? Do you think this was a good pick? Do you think this is going to help her chances of winning in November? Or do you think doesn't matter? She was going to win or lose no matter what her VP pick is? All opinions are welcome because we just found out this morning and we're witnessing history together in real time. I'd love to hear from you. 800-288-9227. This is your chance to be a political pundit, just like the talking heads that you have to listen to on talk radio and see on TV. I'd like to hear from you. Your thoughts on Tim Walz as Kamala's VP pick. 800-288-9227. 9227. Let's also ask my first guest, Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne. Welcome back to the James Show. Your thoughts on Tim Walz?
Hey. How are you? Well, look, I mean, I don't know that he's bringing anything, less of thoughtful to the ticket. You've got Harris at the top of the ticket. Let's face it. I mean, this woman is a radical liberalist. She is far left of even Joe Biden. Her failures, her policies, I think it just ultimately will permanently cripple our country. But, I represent North Texas, the great state of Texas, and you look at her energy policies, and they're horrible. And then you look at her VP pick, which, might have tempered down some of her policies, but it doesn't look like it. That being said, I'm not sure how much name ID that this guy's got.
Very little name ID.
He used to be a Congress member, and I understand that when he was a Congress member, he potentially was more moderate with some of his votes, which is going to hurt their deep blue base. But the fact is that since he became governor, it just sounds like he has just bought and sold into the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren left radical side of the party, and I don't know what he's bringing to the table. But I guess they needed to balance her out. It's not doing it.
Well, let's try and play devil's advocate, for lack of a better term. And I would think if you're on Team Blue, you got to be pretty happy with this pick. Wouldn't you like this if you were a Democrat? He's right down their alley.
Well, I think that's the difference between left radical, progressive, and a Democrat. I wouldn't want a left radical progressive if I was just a regular Democrat. I think this is where they start missing the mark. Is when they start attacking, kids in schools, when they start erasing women, when they start looking at the economy and wanting everything to be federalized and everybody to be dependent. This is, getting rid of our energy supplies. That to me is a far left. But if that's where the Democrats are right now, God save us. But I think for the most part, for moderate Dems, if such a thing still exists, this is not going to do anything to excite them to go out to the polls.
Yeah, I know a lot of moderate Democrats in my real life. I just don't see a lot of them on TV. I hear from my Democrat friends that they're lifelong Democrats and they still support the cause, but they don't think men can have babies.
So are you saying that the governor's stance on having tampons in the boys' bathrooms is probably not going to be well regarded across the country from your friends?
All right, people listening, Beth Van Dyne did not tell a joke. That was one of his real policies. Well, and what were some of the other ones I've already heard this morning? People had the opposition research just ready to go. It was the tampons in bathrooms. He was real big on the lockdowns. He was real big on masks and vaccines and the mandates.
Well, and not just on masks and vaccines, but he actually started a tattle call number that people during COVID could contact people to complain that people weren't wearing masks, to report people. I mean, you want to talk about Big Brother. It's not just being supportive of something, but it's also, creating a way that people, it's a Big Brother kind of mindset. And again,
they love snitches over there, though. You say that like it's a bad thing. They love being the hall monitors of society. All right, Beth, let's talk about something awesome that's going on that you're a part of, this job fair. Let's get some people some help, because there's nothing scarier than losing your job and having to look at your kids and being like, I don't know how I'm going to feed you, bud.
Well, I appreciate that. It's nice to be able to get out of D.C. and talk about things that actually matter to people's lives. So often we're up there and we talk about these big issues that we're never going to be able to really push. But, I think our office is unique because we like to be very pragmatic. I'm a former mayor. I'm a former city council member, and I've worked with our business community and I've worked with our working families in our cities, in our communities. And so during the campaign, when you start talking to these people and they tell you over and over again, businesses are like, we're trying to find people to hire and we're having a hard time. We know that talent exists in North Texas, but we're having a hard time hiring. And then when you start talking and having roundtables with parents, with working families, and they're telling you, look, we want to get a job. We want to change careers. We're looking for more flexibility, more benefits, more pay. It seems like it's ripe ground to put the two together. So a few years ago, right after the pandemic, we put together a job fair thinking that it was going to be able to help a few hundred people. And the first job fair that we got, we had 6,000 people come to. That's how many people were hungry to look for jobs. Backed by popular demand, the next, this was last year, was our second one that we did. We thought it was going to be a lot smaller. It wasn't really post-COVID. So we figured a lot of people were going to be in a more normal position. We got 16,000 to 17,000 people last year.
Okay, so this year, when and where?
This year, we're having it at Globe Life Field. We've got over 500 businesses representing more than 22,000 jobs. It'll be from 11 to 3. We recommend people multiple resumes to hand out. Be prepared to be interviewed on the spot and to have your calendar with you because they're going to be scheduling interviews.
What's the date on this again?
It is this Thursday. It's coming Thursday, August 8th, from 11 to 3. And almost a third of the jobs are six-figure and above jobs. These are not just entry-level jobs. This is not just part-time jobs. It represents nearly every single industry in North Texas and every single job on a company's size that you can imagine.
All right, I think we just got some people's attention. So quick summary here. There's a big job fair. How big is it? It's at Globe Life Field. This isn't in a strip mall by the gas station. This isn't going to be in a hollowed-out Starbucks. This is at Globe Life Field.
Free parking. Free entry. It costs people nothing to attend. We've got 2 full concourses on employers ready to hire.
This Thursday, so just 2 days from now, August 8th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And the website for that is myntxjobs.com. So if you can register, great. But if you can't, it's okay too. Just come out and try to find a new opportunity.
Beth Van Dyne, thanks for being on the James Show again. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Take care.
There she is, Beth Van Dyne. 24th District of Texas, the old Fighting 24. I don't know. All right, your thoughts on Tim Walz being selected as Kamala's VP? You got any hot opinions? Let's hear them. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Sometimes something gets unplugged and you have to wait for it to reboot, so we're going to be a little late on the commercials. Sorry for those of you who are anxiously awaiting the next traffic update. But So what we're going to do next is I got audio bites. I went through the archives on Tim Walz and started pulling up things that I thought you'd be interested in. This guy actually has a record. This guy has public service where he was in Congress. He was governor of a state. So we don't have to guess about where this guy stands on issues or what he would do in an emergency or what he would do if there was a lockdown. One of the most telling things we have about anybody that has a record of public service in the last 5 years is what did they do during the lockdown? Were they pro shutdown? Because we all now know, and you can give people a little bit of grace, a little bit of gray area in the moment when we're in the middle of a turmoil and emergency and chaos and people trying to scare the pants out of you and people dying and stuff. But now we know that masks didn't work, that lockdowns didn't work, that vaccines didn't work. And so, look, in hindsight, okay, you probably did this with the best of intentions. It doesn't make you a bad person that if you fell for the mask stuff or if you fell for the lockdowns and the mandates and the vaccines, but it does make you a dupe. It does make you, it does put your judgment into question compared to those who didn't fall for it. And I've always thought going forward, this would be a great litmus test on how to judge someone as a leader is how did they respond during COVID? How did they respond during an emergency? We now know. Luckily, it was a dry run. It wasn't even a real emergency. We just got to see who could be duped by hype and sensation and jettison your rights at the first whiff of an emergency, at the first whiff that something went wrong. And the guy that he was recently running against him for office put down a montage of Walz's policy on the shutdown. And look, I don't think this is going to change a whole lot of people's votes, but this should just sort of paint a beautiful picture of how much of a tyrant this guy was during COVID, and that is a horrible, horrible sign.
I've just signed Executive Order 20-01, declaring a peacetime state of emergency for the state of Minnesota. We need to stop congregating. We're going to close the bars. We're going to close the restaurants. We're going to close the places where we gather. Several 100,000 of your neighbors were just laid off. An entire industry has been shut down in the face of this, all for the greater good.
The governor, with the power of the state constitution behind him, has issued 104 executive orders affecting everything from schools to restaurants and bars to churches to basically every facet of everyday life.
Democrats who control the House.
See, and this ad is so good because what you can't see in the ad is they keep showing pictures of businesses that were closed and children who are sitting there and they just look horrible with their mask on. You can tell they hate it. And you can see the people in line and you could see all the chaos that was caused by the shutdown. Tim Walz, that's him. He was one of the most shutdowny of the shutdown governors. He was the biggest, one of the bigger tyrants that you had when we were all in an emergency and he had us on our knees. He took as much advantage as he possibly could. That's what I think makes him the perfect choice for the Democrat ticket. Your thoughts? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
8262. The first 25.
Your boss's wife is hot. The babysitter's hot. Your best friend's grandma's hot. Everybody's hot.
The most accurate and dependable forecasts daily from Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton, the National Weather Service, the Weather Channel, and WFAA News 8. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Brought to you by Nation's Pure Water Systems.
Hello, Patriots. Have you got rotten egg smelling water? Who can stand it? My name is Cara, and I will personally schedule your free water test. Call us today at 888-763-0050 or go online to nationspure.com and let's talk about your water solutions.
This report is sponsored by Lotto.com. Feeling lucky? Lotto.com has digital scratch tickets, tons of games, and instant fun. Scratch now on Lotto.com. Must be 18 or older in Texas to play the lottery. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 800-522-4700.
DFW's only FM news, talk, traffic, and weather station. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. If you got any comments, any hot opinions on Tim Walz being named as Kamala Harris's vice presidential pick, 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Well, let's start the review there. I played you the shutdown montage, and that was put together as, as part of opposition research, and it had the scary music under it and whatnot. But let's look at a couple things he said recently. Let's not cherry pick things and put a montage of things we don't like together. Let's remember that white dudes for Trump call? We were making fun of that on yesterday's show. Walz was in that. And a couple things he said are already being pulled out and passed around. Here's one of them that I think this is good because it explains where he's at on actual policy. This isn't an ad hominem attack. I'm not attacking his character or his thought process, or I'm attacking his policies here. Whenever someone speaks positively about socialism, I'm skeptical.
They're angry, they're confused, they're frustrated, they feel like they got left behind sometimes. But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.
Run far away from that. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Yes, the neighborliness, where you have to kill 20 million of your fellow Russian citizens in order to maintain neighborliness, or when Mao killed 30 million of his fellow Chinese, maybe even 50 million on the higher estimates. I'll even take the lower one, 30 million of your fellow Chinese citizens. That's neighborliness, y'all. What Hugo Chavez did to Venezuela, that's not socialism, that's neighborliness. Neighborliness, yes, the neighborliness where you have to break into the zoo and eat the animals. That neighborly, where you're eating out of the garbage. That neighborliness, where you just steal an election, even more obviously than the one we had here in 2020. Yes, that neighborliness. That's socialism. Now, see, socialism is the opposite of neighborliness. Neighborliness implies that there's private, voluntary donations and sharing of resources. That's neighborliness. That's actually kind of sounds Judeo-Christian, dare I say. And of course, if you say that, then that'll freak them out. Socialism, good. Judeo-Christian, oh no. Your thoughts on Tim Walz? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Are any of these calls screened? Okay. Good. I'll go back to the sound bites. The other thing he said in the white dudes for Kamala call, this is not attacking him on policy. This is evaluating him based on his approach. I hate to say his character, but character kind of counts when you're saying things like this. He's concerned in his attempt to make fun of Trump.
Here's the great news. How often in 100 days do you get to change the trajectory of the world? How often in 100 days do you get to do something that's going to impact generations to come? And how often in the world do you make that bastard wake up afterwards and know that a black woman kicked his ass and sent him on the road? And that's something that guy's going to have to live with for the rest of his life.
Okay, first off, you called him bastard. Not very nice. He already got shot in the head. Can we tone down the rhetoric? Oh, we got to change the trajectory of the world. Got to save democracy. Got to stop the Nazis. People, stop with the rhetoric. He's not a bastard. Okay. All right. I guess it's just open season on name calling now. Is that what it is? And what fantasy are you people under that it would hurt his feelings if he lost to a black female? Why would that even matter? Do you think that would matter to him more or less than any other demographic? No, you're projecting. It's like they almost wish he was racist. Oh man, it'd be great if his racial antipathy made him even more angry at losing. What kind of weird fan fiction fantasy? And for the people who say, Republicans are hung up on race and gender or focused on race and gender. No, y'all bring it up every time, every rally, every interview. George Stephanopoulos, for the first 6 questions in the first 6 minutes of his interview on This Week with Byron Donalds, the congressman from Florida, all ate up with race and gender. The whole damn thing. Did anyone bringing up balance in the budget? Anybody, can we get someone to maybe balance the budget? Because, this inflation is killing us. I had McDonald's breakfast. It was $9.47 this morning. I didn't even upsize it. McDonald's is $10 a meal now. No, we don't want to talk about that. We want to talk about how he's a bastard and it's going to make him mad to lose to a black female. Why do they ascribe these horrible worldviews? And of course, I know a common answer I hear from people like you, if not you yourself, is they're projecting. Maybe so. Maybe so. That anyone who goes out and one person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Okay, that concerns me on policy. And then to have it's gonna burn Trump by being beat by. How to say that again? Because I don't want to.
Here's the great news. How often in 100 days do you get to change the trajectory of the world? How often in 100 days do you get to do something that's going to impact generations to come? And how often in the world do you make that bastard wake up afterwards and know that a black woman kicked his ass and sent him on the road?
I don't think it would bother him much more or less than other demographics. But, hey, you don't get to be president, but at least you lost to a white guy. Was he real happy about that in 2020? Was he happy about losing to Joe Biden, or did he fight it? Did he go, oh, well, I lost, but hey, it was an old white guy just like me, so that's not so bad. No, he's not ate up on race like you people are. And he doesn't hate immigrants. He's married to one. J.D. Vance doesn't want all white babies. He made 3 mixed babies. Can y'all just focus for a second and y'all get off the whole race thing? Do I got time to squeeze in a call? I'm going to try and squeeze one in. Let's do line 1. That would be Leon in Denton. You're first up on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think, Leon?
The Tim Walz in Minnesota, when the George Floyd riots were taking place, he was very strong on defunding the police, and he literally allowed many of those businesses to just crash and go under.
Yeah, so he was encouraging them and letting them out of jail as much as he could. For the rest of them, Kamala was raising bail money to get them out of jail. So, yeah, that's been an observation that many people have already made, so I'm not going to be the first, and you don't get credit for that either, Leon. But a lot of us see it. I guess this is like the mostly peaceful protest ticket. I mean, they have that in common. Look, let me be positive. I think they're pretty well suited. I think they're pretty well yoked. They're pretty evenly matched. They're a good couple. I mean, if that's your policies, you've got them doubled down there. The pro, mostly peaceful. Hey, you can go set a police station on fire, but don't go loiter through an open door in Statuary Hall and leave when you're politely asked. That's an insurrection. Good point. Thank you, Leon and Denton. I want to hear your comments coming up next. 800-288-9227. It's the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from my friends at Mark Spain Real Estate and get the strongest cash offer in the industry. With over 12,000 5-star reviews, they're the most trusted and experienced real estate team in the U.S. And their agents are local and have served families in the DFW area for years. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. I'm here with Mark of Mark Spain Real Estate. Mark, why is it important to choose a local real estate team to sell your home?
Well, real estate's a local business, and you want somebody who has lived and breathed your community, who knows the insides and out. Our agents live and breathe in the neighborhoods they live in. Their kids play on the local t-ball team. They go to the same grocery stores as you. Their kids are in the same school systems, same churches. So it's important to hire somebody who understands you and your neighborhood.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Using a team who's experienced in your area is so important. Trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home hassle-free, and you'll get the best value for your home. Go to markspain.com to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation and get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com. And start packing.
I knew this would happen. The minute Freeman Toyota announced 0% financing for 60 months on new 2024 Tundras, we'd be setting sales records. Hello, this is Dane Miner, General Manager of Freeman Toyota. And if you want a lower truck payment, now's the time. You can get a new 2024 big Crewmax Tundra truck for just $449 a month, and we'll pay all the money for your trade-in. Come see us today at Freeman Toyota, 183 and 820, or shop online at freemantoyota.com.
Call 866-227-6570 for details.
Hey, North Texas, I've been talking up the great folks at Clarity Windows and Doors family for over 20 years now, especially the energy savings we achieved with high-efficiency windows and doors. Also, the added beauty, curb appeal, and the value they add to your home. These windows also keep out the dust and the pollen and the street noise. But the real advantage is saving wear and tear, extending the life of your heating and cooling system. You know, North Texas weather's a roller coaster. Heat, humidity, cold, wind, noise, dust. But Clarity Windows can help control your in-home temperatures and air quality, taking a big load off your AC unit. And right now, you can save 40% off every other window. Also, great financing options to fit your budget. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call 1-888-458-3630 or just click them online at ClarityWindows.com. Love your home again with timeless beauty and savings from Clarity Windows and Doors.
Bring clarity to your home. Clarity Windows and Doors.
Hey fellas, did you know testosterone starts to decline in your 30s? If you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be low T. Well, the answer's simple. Get checked out at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Don't put it off. At Synergenics, you'll get testing and customized care from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy, or TRT. And you can also be evaluated for treatment with GLP-1 weight loss medications. Book your appointment at SynergeticsHealth.com. That's SYNER GenXHealth.com. Testosterone and weight loss.
Caller number 1. What's your
life hack? Yeah, if you get a flat tire, just take the air out of the other 3 tires.
I would not do that one. Okay, caller number 2. What's your
life hack?
You missed a phone payment? Just file for bankruptcy.
Ooh, no. Come on, caller number 3. What's your
life hack?
Yeah, so if you have one bedroom that's way too hot, just close the vent.
These aren't life hacks. When you close off a vent to a certain room, you're causing the air pressure to build up and work backwards. Not to mention, you're still not solving the issue. If you have one room in your house that is way too hot or way too cold, you don't have to live like that. With our advanced diagnostic tools, we will fix the airflow imbalances in your home in less than 2 hours for only $189. And if your issue's not resolved, we'll refund you your money. Call Milestone today and ask for the Milestone Room Temperature Service.
We'll fix it in a flash.
Correct.
Shane Mullen with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. I don't have a funny nickname or a silly TV spot. What we do have is over 40 years experience fighting for injured North Texans. Being local matters, and we win. Call me, 214-INJURED, mullenandmullen.com. No recovery, no expense or fees. Been that way since '83.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station. Trending now.
The Republican nominee for vice president reacts to his presumptive Democratic counterpart. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We still have a crash in North Dallas on westbound 635 near Preston Road. It's blocking the right lane. Traffic now stacking up around Park Central. Give yourself about 10 extra minutes to get through. We had some maintenance pop up that was cleared fairly quickly. 30 westbound at Carroll Avenue. Still have about a 15 to 20 minute jam unwinding though back from Jim Miller. There's a disabled vehicle partially blocking the exit ramp from 30 westbound to southbound 35E. That has traffic stacking up around Botham Jean. And you have a new crash on westbound Woodall Rogers just after you get on from 35E. It's blocking the left lane. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones. I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got 'em. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, sunny this afternoon with a high 100 degrees. We are there. 99 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by the Good Contractors List. Democratic presidential candidate and Vice President Kamala Harris named her running mate today, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. While rallying with voters in Philadelphia, Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance commented on their handling of the 2020 Minneapolis riots following the murder of George Floyd.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz do make an interesting team because if we remember the rioting in the summer of 2020, Tim Walz was the guy who let rioters burn down Minneapolis, and then Kamala Harris was the one who bailed the rioters out of jail. So there's an interesting team in that sense.
Democrats will officially nominate the duo for the party's president and vice presidential candidates at the Democratic National Convention. That is in 2 weeks. Your money news, it is Dollar Day at the Dallas Zoo.
About 20,000 people are expected to visit the popular destination today. And the zoo is urging patrons to pay attention to staff's directions about overflow parking and consider DART's red line to avoid traffic. The zoo's Carrie Stryber outlined some can't-miss exhibits.
Are absolutely on the Wild of Africa side. You can see our elephants, giraffe feeding the hippos. Our primates, our tigers will be out in habitat.
And the zoo has patrons covered when it comes to dealing with today's triple-digit temperatures. There are more than 24 permanent misting fans in 6 key areas to give guests some added relief. Nicole Osei, WBAP News.
The Dow's up 548 points, NASDAQ up 308, the S&P 500 up by 97. Again, the high today 100. It is 99 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by the Allen Gun Show this weekend at the Allen Event Center. Your next news update is at 3 o'clock. I'm Eric Bushman. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP for the latest on Decision 2024.
Well, I guess no news is good news when it comes to contract extensions for Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. But then it probably depends whom you ask. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Prescott's playing out the last year of his current deal, showing up, doing his job. His agent reportedly got some kind of offer from Jerry Jones recently, but it must not have been what he's looking for, or we would have already had a press conference announcing all the details. And a lot of diehard Cowboy fans have seen enough of this guy the last 8 years, knowing that as good as he's been at times in the regular season, it's the playoffs where he continues to fail. And a change of scenery, if we want to be honest, with a new team, might be what he needs to show he is one of the best in the game. And as far as Lamb, he'll eventually report once the two sides come to a number that everybody likes. But while his holdout is at a couple of weeks and counting, his trainer posted a video showing him working out on a beach, working on his speed, agility, and route running in some deep sand. I'm not sure where the beach is. I would have gone to Hawaii. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
Thomas J. Henry Law has more than 2,700 five-star Google reviews from satisfied clients. If you've been injured and need an attorney, don't leave your case to chance. Contact Thomas J. Henry today at tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in 2010 in my garage after I overpaid for new blinds. I researched the industry, hired my mom, and 14 years later, we're one of the largest retailers of custom blinds in the U.S. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather alerts through push notifications sent to your phone. So you can keep connected, DFW. Just download the free WBAP app today.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Yeah, I'll get right back to your calls in just a second. I got a guest who has some interesting info that we need to share with you. Welcome to the show, Frank Robertson. He's a protection and counterintelligence expert. And look, the Secret Service obviously boo-booed on July 13th by letting their protectee take a bullet. Do we ever get to the bottom of this and figure out was something done wrong? Because I think of Las Vegas. It's been years. They had the investigation. We still don't know why that guy did what he did, and I have a feeling this is starting to feel like that.
Well, thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate you guys. I don't know that we're going to get a whole lot because they are the Secret Service, and being around them over my career, they keep people outside their bubble, and they don't like other agencies or anyone else inside their bubble. They know a lot more than they're really telling us right now, but they are going to keep it to themselves up to a point. And I don't think the first director that resigned did any favors on some of the comments that she made. But I think the new director, he's dedicated. He's been there a long time. I think he's trying to do a lot of cleanup, but there's a lot of aisles that need cleanup.
You know, I have a guy waiting on hold right now, and I'm glad we have you scheduled when you do. Matthew in Dallas is saying there's a whistleblower that said from the CIA that said there would be something else coming out against President Trump. Now, do you know anything about this rumor? I've heard something similar from the Dan Bongino show that comes on before us. But what do you think about that? Your response?
Well, there's a lot of whistleblowers coming out, and they tend to be going to senators' offices and providing text messages and that type of thing, but I have not heard of the latest.
Okay. Look, it feels like at some point, some Secret Service officer is going to have to stand up and tell us what really went wrong, but they don't always.
No, and I think this is the agency that's going to be the toughest to get one of those to break, because the line agents are dedicated to their mission. They're there to take a bullet every day. It's the leadership, and that's where the decisions came from. I do understand that the whistleblower said that the agent on duty that was in charge was very new and inexperienced. That may or may not lead to anything, but she has other agents that spoke it up as well. But it's going to be very difficult out of this particular agency to get someone to come out that's a line agent or something like that that knows more. It's going to come from another law enforcement agency or someone else in the leadership side.
Have we seen a significant difference in in a change in the Secret Service over the last, 5 to 10 years?
I think so, and I think the one thing is, as a guy that built his name on the advanced side, when the new director said this was a failure of imagination, I know exactly what that means. And every agent that's ever done advanced work or been involved in this type of thing understand that it was basically someone not understanding or thinking or imagining that someone can take a shot from that roof. Otherwise, I strongly believe that perimeter would have been widened out if someone had that imagination. The first day I did this job, I was told to prepare for every eventuality. And if I can think of it, a bad guy's already thought of it. I would have had that water tower and the roof covered. I don't care if it was whoever.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me. It makes sense to the guy listening to us. The question we have now is, okay, if it's that obvious, how come no one's been fired yet?
That part I don't know, and I don't know if the Secret Service itself will share if anyone gets fired, but there needs to be accountability, and the public needs to know. They may be called the Secret Service, but keeping the secrets and keeping the information from us is what causes the conspiracy theories, that causes all the people to say what they've been saying about the service, and they need to have some sort of information for the public so they can understand and stop with the conspiracy stuff.
All right, Frank Robertson, thanks for your time. How can they find you outside of the James Show?
Black Rhino Group GRP. Black Rhino Group GRP. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Frank. Good to talk to you again. I'm going to stick with the phones here. Let's go talk to Diana in Dallas. Thank you for hanging on. You're on WBAP. What do you think, Diana?
Well, number one, I think Kamala is a joke, and I think this guy she chose, since I really don't know that much about him, I've heard some clips on Newsmax and on the different Bongino and different shows today. It sounds like he's just as big a nut as she is. The sad part about it is, for me, these people have sold us out all along the way. Biden sold us out. She sold us out. We know Obama sold us out. And I'm so curious, when China buys up all of our land and they own us, they think they're going to be in charge, but they're not. China's going to be in charge. And no one seems to give a hoot to stop them. And that drives me crazy. But, all we can do is go vote, right? Which we did in 2020. And look what happened. It's like, I feel like sometimes that if we don't start fighting back, we are not going to have our country, because they are taking it away right before our very eyes. And Kamala can't even put a sentence together. And I don't know much about this other guy, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to do my research, and I'm going to find out more about him. I don't know what else we can do as a people but to stand up and say, we're done.
All right,
we're not taking this.
Here, I'm not telling everyone else how they have to think, but here's my thinking on that. And this is one of the reasons why I'm so different than even most of the people that listen to WBAP. My number one animating principle is just, and yours is probably similar. The government has gotten too big, and it doesn't need to stop growing or stay the same size. It needs to get smaller. However, most people that say that go out and they vote for a party that just grew government. And that's your only two options since the late 90s. Your only two options have been for a party that wants to grow government and a party that wants to grow government a little bit faster. Stop playing ball. Stop voting for Democrats or Republicans who want to grow government. That should be a single issue vote. The size of government, period, point blank, end of story. And if Republicans stood on their principles, oh yeah, you would lose this election, but in 4 years, they would have to put up a candidate that is going to cut the government. If they ever want to win again, you have to punish your side. You have to be willing to not vote for your team if they're not following your policies. It really, I mean, it sounds reductive, but it's that simple. If there's not a a party that's following those policies, don't vote for them. Well, James, if we don't vote for Trump, then the other guy will win. Too bad.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and the sad part about it is that if the other guy wins, we're more screwed than we would be in the other way.
Well, listen. If y'all would have done that in 2020 or let's just say 2020, if y'all would have done that, Joe Biden won anyway. Team Blue won anyway. Republicans would have gotten the message 4 years ago, and the candidate that they would be putting forward right now, the candidate that would go through the primaries and win, if everyone held to their principles, would be a guy who wants to shrink government. But they're never going to do that because they still get your vote. They're as long as they put up a guy that's team red that, I don't know, is anti-abortion or some other thing, then and they get your vote. They don't have to shrink government until you force them. Now, after all that, I will say more people agree with you than me. I'm in the vast minority on this one. I vote my principles, which means I don't vote for either major party until one of them decides they want to balance or reduce the size of the government. And I'm just going to lose every election. But you can't blame me for that.
I see your point. I have a customer, a hair client. He says that it starts local. If you don't start voting locally and get the idiots out locally, it'll never get to the top.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that, but it doesn't matter who you vote for or who's in office locally. Social Security is going to drown us all in about 5 years. And y'all can just say, well, that's some theoretical thing that we'll have to worry about in the future. Okay, wait till it gets here. Wait till it gets here. All right, I love talking to you about this, though. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Your thoughts on Tim Walz as VP and how that changes the landscape for election 2020. It's The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Cowboys training camp updates throughout your day, weekday mornings and afternoons. Powered by Mullen & Mullen Law Firm. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Since I was a kid, I looked up to my dad. Man, he could fix anything, including power generators. That puff of smoke and the sound of the machine roaring with electricity was the coolest thing ever. He'd give me a high five and say, "Son, you're the Kenerator." Since then, I've spent decades building my company with one goal, helping people like my dad did. And now, I own the best generator company in DFW. See our story at Kenerator.com. Like generator with a K. Kenerator.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Remember, that's Cars with a K.
Hello, DFW. Marcus Kajawa here, bringing you another incredible land buying opportunity. On Saturday, August 10th, the former estate of a Texas legend will be liquidated in tracts ranging from 5 to 25 acres. Properties have road frontage, high elevation, incredible views, and have access to a deep, crystal clear, completely private lake. Come out and buy 5 acres with your own pond for only $35,000. How about 5 dockable acres right on the lake for only $59,000? This is lake living. Imagine the family fun. Call us now. 800-684-4611. That's 800-684-4611. Buy 5 acres for only $35,000 with no hassle owner financing. If the line's busy, keep calling. 800-684-4611. That's 800-684-4611.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We have a couple of minor construction slowdowns to keep an eye out for. One's in Dallas 20 eastbound. They've closed down the left lane between Dowdy Ferry and St. Augustine. And the other is in Fort Worth, westbound 121, also has the left lane closed between Beach Street and Riverside Drive. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by the Law Office of Nick Namath.
The law offices of Nick Namath has helped thousands of taxpayers get out of IRS trouble for over 20 years. Hi, I'm Dallas tax attorney Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Nick Namath. For our help, call 972-484-0829 or visit myiRSteam.com.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Top story of the day is the card is finally filled out for Decision 2024. Kamala Harris announced today that her running mate is going to be Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota. Well, we're just learning a little bit about Tim Walz together and having a nice little chat about it. No big surprise. This was not a out of nowhere pick. It was part of the people who had been vetted and talked about. And as the circle of the discussion grew smaller, it pretty much came down to him and the Shapiro guy, the Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. Of course, that'd been funny if they picked the other Shapiro, Ben Shapiro. That would not have been a good pick. I mean, I would have liked it, but I don't think that would have enthused a lot of Team Blue. Your thoughts on Tim Walz's VP? Does this help? Does this hurt? Does this seem about right? Or do you just not even care because you think the election's all over but decrying? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. This is Kevin in Fort Worth. You're on WBAP. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm from Minnesota originally. Governor Walz was a great supporter of the China virus and China lockdowns. And one connection that maybe a lot of people don't know is that Governor Walz actually spent 1 year teaching high school in China.
That's weird.
Yes, it's on the Google. All you got to do is check it out. Congressman spent approximately 1 year teaching high school in China as part of Harvard University's World Teach program. Walz among
there it is.
Yep, first government-sanctioned group of Americans to educate in China.
Yeah, and then him and his wife ran educational travel adventures, organized summer educational trips for high school students to China.
Yep, and he was a great supporter of the China virus, and he was one of the first states to lock down his entire state and punish everybody for having COVID. Crazy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. And this follows such a weird pattern. Like when Bill Clinton, like when my dad went to Vietnam, Bill Clinton took a trip to Moscow. He's, hey, look, it's between his undergraduate and his graduate degree, and isn't that what you did when you were a college kid during the summers, Kevin? You didn't go do anything fun like water skiing on Lake Louisville or anything. Let's go to Moscow when it's still the Soviet Union.
Yeah, let's support communism. Yeah, you're darn right.
And then Bernie Sanders did the same damn thing. He went to Moscow for his honeymoon when he got married. It's like, hey, what's the most romantic, beautiful place you can think of? Just to where we're going to make these memories together. You want to start out your marriage in the Soviet Union?
There's definitely a China connection to the whole Democratic Party, and COVID has a connection to. It's really do have to watch out for this election this year because they're just going to continue furthering what their agenda is.
All right, as a guy who lived in Minnesota, what else do we need to know about this dude real quick?
He's just a bullheaded bastard.
That'll work. I'll take it. Thank you very much, Kevin.
All right.
Steve and McKinney, you're next up on WBAP. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I just have a quick comment. I don't know if everybody remembers, but when Joe Biden stepped down, said that, or stepped out of the race, said that he wanted to pass the torch to a younger generation. And then she picks an old white dude, radical leftist, just like Joe Biden.
Okay, I mean, he's old, but he's the same age as Kamala. So this is still, even though you're passing the torch down to a guy who is 60 years old, remember, Joe Biden's like 81 or something. So this is still, he is an old white guy, but he's still a generation below Joe Biden. You just underestimate how far gone Biden was.
He doesn't look it.
No, look, I don't think he's going to be like running any 5Ks either. Not to make fun of the guy, but listen, this is the same thing I said about Kamala. And thank you very much for your call, Stephen McKinney. I appreciate you calling in, bud. Stay away from the personal attacks. Some of the stuff I've heard all day, and because I've been glued to talk radio all morning, flipping around and stuff. I mean, I'm sorry, I stayed 100% of the time on WBAP or the WBAP app. No, but this whole idea where, he claimed to be like a master sergeant or whatever, but technically speaking, after he was tired, he didn't finish all his, I don't know, coloring book, so he was demoted to something. So there's a little bit of a stolen valor element there. No one cares. I'm a civilian. None of these rankings mean anything to me. It sounds like Boy Scouts arguing against Cub Scouts. I don't know. Don't care. Doesn't sound like a legit criticism. A guy who falsely claimed he was a master sergeant versus gunny sergeant or gunny sack. I don't know any of these terms. But he supports my policy. Is still someone you should vote for. But yeah, the China thing, weird stuff. Glad he brought that up. All right, your thoughts on Tim Walz. He's going to be the VP on the ticket with Kamala in November. And he's going to be, hopefully, on a debate stage against J.D. Vance sometime before then. Is he the right pick? Listen, to speak for the 4 or 5 Democrats that are listening right now, you got to be happy with this pick. I would love to hear from you. This seems like a guy who represents your values. But I don't know. You tell me. I hate to speak for you because I don't want to be too presumptive here. Do you like this pick? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're in Team Blue. Your thoughts on Tim Walz. 800-288-9227. Kings of Leon is coming to Dickies Arena August 17th. Special guest Fanagram. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Or you can text KINGS to 800-288-9227 for your chance to win a pair of tickets. That's KINGS to 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Get peace of mind with Dallas Plumbing and Air Conditioning, serving Dallas and Fort Worth for over 120 years. Our experts handle all your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning needs. Visit DallasPlumbing.com and book our whole home plumbing inspection for only $89 to ensure your home's plumbing stays safe and efficient. Call 469-599-7200 or visit DallasPlumbing.com. That's DallasPlumbing.com. License TACLB 50010E.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, debunking 3 myths about fiduciaries. And you're going to be surprised about myth number 3. Myth number 1. Fiduciaries are too expensive. Not at Trajan Wealth. Our interests are aligned with yours, so we don't need to push costly investments. The more you make, the more we make. It's that simple. Myth number 2, they will only want to sell me something. Absolutely not. At Trajan Wealth, we have hearts of teachers, and it's our goal to educate and empower, not sell. And the biggest myth, myth number 3, fiduciaries are only for the wealthy. Not at Trajan Wealth. Whether you have 50 grand or 50 million, we know it was hard earned and we'll treat it as such. Let's grow together. So, here's your opportunity for 100% complimentary professional Q&A. Call Trajan today at 469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Sitting in with John Hopkins from Blue Ribbon Roofing today, the company I trust in the roofing business. John, I hear a lot of issues come up with insurance during the claim process. Now, how do you guys help with that?
Well, we like to assist you in calling in the claim. It makes it easier for you. And we like to meet the adjuster at the property to make sure he assess all the damage that you're due. It's a very simple process if you let Blue Ribbon Roofing help you with it.
That's some excellent advice, John. You're just not going to get a better install than you're going to get at Blue Ribbon Roofing. That's why you're McKinney's #1 roofer. What is the best way for somebody to get a hold of you and come out and look at their roof?
BlueRibbonDFW.com.
Be sure you check out BlueRibbonDFW.com. You'll find out why Blue Ribbon has been voted McKinney's top roofer 3 consecutive years. Schedule your free inspection right now. Go to BlueRibbonDFW.com. You'll get a free ridge vent ventilation upgrade when you mention WBAP. That's BlueRibbonDFW.com.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
We see money inefficiency, OG, around us all the time. We've got a few skeletons sitting out in the open, and maybe we need to broom them into the closet, if you know what I mean.
Nope, take that out.
What is...
Whatever you were going for didn't land right. Who's got a shovel and some lime?
Maybe you need to do that with your financial picture. I don't know.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
The Republican reaction to the presumptive Democratic vice presidential nominee. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in Rockwall County on 30 eastbound just before FM 551. It's blocking off your left lane. There's about a 30-minute jam built up back from Highway 205 Goliad Street. Still dealing with that construction in South Dallas. 20 eastbound has the left lane shut down between Dowdy Ferry and St. Augustine. And you also have the left lane closed down for construction in Fort Worth on westbound 121 from Beach Street up to Riverside Drive. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
High pressure is going to result in some more hot and dry weather for the rest of the week today. Around 101 for the high under sunshine. Tonight, clear the low 78. And sunny and even hotter tomorrow and Thursday as highs each day approach 104. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel.
Brought to you by Navage. Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
98 degrees in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm. The Trump campaign and other Washington lawmakers are reacting to Vice President Kamala Harris selecting Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. Fox's Brian Yennis has the latest from Philadelphia.
The Trump campaign is publicly celebrating this pick. They are characterizing Walz as super progressive, if not dangerous. And the former president, he took to Truth Social and in one line just said, quote, "Thank you." Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, though, says that Walz is not on the far left. Moderate independent Senator Joe Manchin praised Harris's pick. Quote, "I can think of no one better than Governor Walz to help bring our country closer together and bring balance back to the Democratic Party. Governor Walz is the real deal."
President Joe Biden praised his vice president's choice, saying Governor Walz is a strong and principled leader. A suspect is hospitalized after a crash and stabbing along LBJ Freeway between Greenville Avenue and Forest Lane this morning. Another driver was stabbed and others were run over who tried to help the victim. Kristen Lohman with Dallas Police says the incident began with a crash and fight.
That's when another driver got out of their vehicle, tried to stop the fight, but was stabbed by that suspect driver.
The driver who was stabbed is in critical condition. The suspect is accused of trying to steal the vehicles of the other people who tried to help. Finally, a group of drivers wrestled the suspect to the ground and held him until police arrived. Lohman says charges are pending. Good Lord. Your money news, a major Las Vegas casino company is making their case for legalizing gambling in Texas.
Recently, the Sands Corporation presented a plan to local politicians to bring gaming to Texas. They stated that legalized gambling would create 70,000 new jobs and add $13 billion to the state's economy. The company also outlined 7 North Texas counties as potential locations for new casino resorts. However, before any new casinos are built, the state legislature would have to pass new laws legalizing gambling in Texas. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
The Dow closed up 294 points, NASDAQ up 167, the S&P 500 up by 54. Again, the high today around 101. It is 98 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Reliant Air Conditioning. Your next news update is at 3:30. I'm Eric Bushman. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP for the latest on Decision 2024. WBAP salutes Ferris. Thank you, Ferris, for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the big show. I know, good to see you too. Well, we have some big news broke today, this morning. We all learned Kamala Harris has now announced her vice presidential pick, and it was one of the people we expected that was in the discussion there. Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota. He's now on the clock and has 3 months to make his case to the voters. Will it change anybody's mind? You know, I'm starting to think I don't think it will. I don't think it'll change one person's mind. Look, it could have hurt her. I'm not sure if anyone could have helped her except for maybe like a Michelle Obama or something like that. But let's ask someone who talks about such things and studies such things for a living. Matthew Wilson's back on from SMU. Welcome back to the show. Your thoughts on Tim Walz being the VP pick?
I think she was a pretty safe pick, but I think that she missed an opportunity maybe to help herself. I think that had she chosen Josh Shapiro, he could have really helped her in Pennsylvania, which is a critical state, whereas, you know, Minnesota is not one of the key swing states. I mean, if she's struggling to win Minnesota, she's going to be in trouble in a lot of other places too. So, you know, it's not going to hurt the ticket, but I don't think it's going to move the needle very much in a positive direction.
Well, what about the thought that picking Josh Shapiro could cause her to win Pennsylvania but lose Michigan because of the Dearborn vote?
I think the whole Dearborn vote thing is way overplayed, honestly. You know, Arab Americans are maybe 2% of the population of Michigan, and it's not as if, you know, they're going to vote for Donald Trump. So I think that factor has been oversold a little bit.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. If I had been advising her, I probably would have told her to pick Shapiro, but she didn't call me. And, you know, this certainly will make for peace and party unity at the convention in Chicago.
Okay. Well, I just dug up the statistics real quick. And they don't have it split up into Muslims specifically, but they do have a significant Arab American community, which looks like it does tick at about 2 to 3% of the population. So you're spot on there. Why do they get so much attention then?
Well, in the case of the Gaza-Israel conflict, because they've been very vocal. I mean, those who have opposed Israeli action in Gaza have been protesting. They've been making a lot of noise. They've been very active, as we know, on college campuses and such. So they've gotten a lot of attention. But, the polls pretty consistently show that most Americans and even most Democrats favor Israel in the conflict in Gaza. So, I think that the anti-Israel left is very loud, but they don't command numbers that are commensurate with the level of attention that they get.
I see that. Okay. Well, let's take this to the next step here. If we are on Team Blue, this actually seems like a pretty good pick because from what I've noticed so far is they're actually a pretty good match ideologically, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, he definitely, no doubt about it, is more liberal than either Mark Kelly or Josh Shapiro, who are the other two prominently mentioned. He's probably not as far to the left as Kamala Harris, but Kamala Harris is pretty far out there. I mean, honestly, she's definitely on the progressive flank of the Democratic Party. I think Walz will be perceived by many voters at least as more moderate than Harris. And he does have a military background, and he's an older white guy from the upper Midwest. All those things kind of give off moderate vibes. So, I mean, in that sense, as I say, I don't think it's a risky pick. I don't think it's going to help hurt her in any way. She decided not to swing for the fences with this.
Right, and if I do the elections that I've covered as a talk radio host, when I go back and I look at the losing party, no one ever blames the VP. No one blamed Lieberman for Kerry losing. No one blamed Tim Kaine for Hillary losing. So if she loses, this is going to turn out to just be a completely inconsequential pick from what it looks like.
Yeah, unless she loses very closely and loses because she lost Pennsylvania. Then there will be some real second guessing, right? Then a lot of people will say, what if she had chosen Shapiro? And of course, we would never know the answer to that. And we got a long way to go. I mean, we don't know if she's going to win or lose, and win or lose, we don't know whether it's going to be close or not quite as close. So we got a long way to go in this campaign. But if Pennsylvania ends up being the decisive state and Trump's way, that's the scenario where I could see her being second guessed.
All right. Well, you teach political science at SMU. Did y'all do anything extraordinary for election season? That must be a special time for you.
Yeah, I stay pretty busy talking to folks like you on the radio and TV and such about the election. But on campus, seriously, we do have lots of discussions with our students, and we will have some, election night watch parties, debate watch parties. We certainly emphasize it in our classes. And what we really try to do is stress the idea of civil discourse, that people can talk about the election, disagree about the election, share views about the election without getting bitter and angry with each other.
Oh, what fun is that, Matthew?
Well, I just think it's an important thing to try to model for our society, that, we can disagree without being disagreeable. That at least is the goal.
Well, I wouldn't be upset if my kid went to SMU and had you. Thank you, Matthew Wilson, for being on the James Show again.
All right. Talk to you later.
Ruben in Sherman, you're next up on the James Show. If you want to be next, 800-288-9227. What do you think, Ruben?
Man, it just feels like her pick I agree with your guess. It feels like it doesn't necessarily hurt her, but man, it would have been a slam dunk for her if she picked Josh Shapiro.
So why do you think she didn't?
It sounds weird, right, to believe that Dearborn has that much of an influence, but I feel like that speaks volumes, that just because of his last name and his ethnicity, that they're running away, that side of the political aisle is running away from it because they want to address, or they want to appeal to that, to that side of the ideology.
Right. And I'm kind of stuck on that point too. Not that Matthew's wrong, but it can't just be the Muslim vote then. This means that if you put a Jewish guy on the ticket, there's going to be like a lot of like suburban bourgeois college kids that are like free Palestine, those kids, you're going to lose some of those too. It's not just the Muslims. It's not just the 2% of the population that is actually Muslim. They have a whole lot of sympathy with a group that would otherwise vote Democrat. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. From what I understood, Josh Shapiro was the better candidate, but what do I know?
I would have been. I'm a Trump guy through and through, man. It would have been like even that much scarier if he did pick him. But now it's looking a little optimistic. I think Trump has a better chance now that, it might be a guy that's a safer pick for her, and it's not somebody that's making a big statement like Josh Shapiro or Kelly would have made. Kelly and Josh Shapiro would have made a huge statement. It would have been a nail in the coffin, it felt like, at least, because when she got picked, it felt like it was coming out of nowhere. I don't know where these polls were coming. It felt like Trump, after the assassination attempt, was a slam dunk himself, and now that was only 12 or something days ago.
Yeah, they memory hold that whole story pretty quick. They talk about it on Fox News quite a bit, but I have MSNBC on in here a lot of times. They never bring it up again. But you made some great points. But still, I want to hear from Team Blue. I want to hear if you're a Democrat voter or you lean Democrat or you're a centrist or you were planning on voting Democrat. I would like to hear your thoughts. I had a couple on hold. They couldn't hang on. Totally understandable. You have a life. I get it. But if you've got some time, give me a call. I want to hear from the other side. 800-288-9227. Because look, to be fair, if that's your values, if you already supported Kamala Harris, you're probably pretty happy with Tim Walz. 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The political battle is heating up. Keep connected, DFW, for the latest on Decision 2024.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy.
It wouldn't have happened with us. We would have gotten him back. We wouldn't have had to pay anything. We wouldn't have had to let some of the great killers of the world go. I did a lot of people where I said, you got to give him back. I called the head of the country, whatever the country was, I said, got to give him back.
News Talking 20 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Remember, that's cars with a K.
Honey, what are you doing? The garage door only shuts if you sprint and hurdle over the sensor perfectly.
This isn't a track and field event. We need Wellborn Garage. They'll replace our garage door opener same day, and scheduling is easy at callwellborngarage.com.
You're right. Calling Wellborn's better than me pulling a hamstring.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
Hanging out with my good friend Rob Vaughn from Reformation Roofing and Construction today. Rob, we spoke earlier about getting your shingles checked out after a hailstorm sooner rather than later, because if you don't, there's a chance that the insurance company won't approve a claim. Why is that?
Here's the thing. If you imagine a hailstone hitting that shingle, it's going to impact the shingle, it's going to bruise it, and those granules of that shingle will sit there in that bruise. What ends up happening over time, in the beginning, it's easy to see. Over time, it becomes harder to see. And so the insurance adjuster, if it's been a year, 2 years, whatever, they see that and the granules have all washed away, then there's nothing for them to cover.
Yeah, Rob, you've told me always to get that checked out on the shingles sooner rather than later. How do folks get a hold of you if they want to have you come look at the roof?
You can give us a call at 940-210-3009. That's 940-210-3009. You can text us there also, or go to roofingreformation.com.
Are you a man who's been experiencing a loss of sex drive or symptoms of depression? Well, you're not alone. At Men's Edge Medical, they offer real results tailored to fit your specific needs. No matter what may be causing your erectile dysfunction, they have solutions that work. Medications you're taking, even smoking, may worsen your sexual performance. Men's Edge Medical sees patients every day with these symptoms, and they've helped countless men regain their vitality. Don't be fooled by newcomer companies or trendy new treatments. Gainswave, also known as acoustic shock wave therapy, often doesn't work and may have side effects. Men's Edge Medical has a proven track record of success, and they're located right here in DFW. Whether you're struggling with ED or premature stamina, Men's Edge Medical is here to help you reclaim your confidence and performance. No gimmicks, just results, or your first visit is free. Call Men's Edge Medical today, 972-996-0900, 972-996-0900. Men's Edge Medical. Get your edge back today.
This is Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne. Our office is holding a North Texas Job Fair on August 8th at the Texas Rangers Stadium. I'll be joined by more than 400 employers and a bipartisan group of local, state, and federal leaders. If you're interested in attending as a job seeker or as an employer, visit www.myntxjobs.com for more information. Again, this is Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne. If you're interested in attending our job fair, please visit myntxjobs.com. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
I'm Chris Grundy, host of Texas Yard Makeover Weekend Edition. Some easy projects can turn your yard into a water-saving retreat. Add native plants. They're beautiful and survive our extreme temperatures. Grow a pollinator garden. It uses less water and attracts hummingbirds and butterflies. Make your lawn a success. Never water more than twice a week and make sure you cycle and soak. Visit waterisawesome.com and pick a weekend project. Little projects, big difference.
We have a new crash in Coppell on westbound 635 at Freeport Parkway. Traffic stop and go already back from Beltline. Give yourself about 15 extra minutes to get through. And we're still dealing with that half-hour delay in Rockwall on I-30 eastbound. You have a crash just before FM 551, causing a jam from Highway 205, Goliad Street. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by Texas 811. No matter the project, big or small, professional or DIYer, always contact 811 2 business days before digging. It's safe, free, and the law. Visit texas811.org/everydigcounts to learn more. That's texas811.org/everydigcounts.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to TxDOT, on average, one motorcyclist dies every day on Texas roads. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Your money news at the top and bottom of each hour, weekdays. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the big show. Some breaking news. We'll continue talking about politics because I don't really have a whole lot of details on this story, but they're working on this in the newsroom, so stick around. You're probably going to get an update on this from the newsroom in about 10 minutes. But since the show started, the story came out that a Pakistani man with ties to Iran has been charged in an assassination plot, and they say potentially targeting Donald Trump. So that's the headline as reported. I see this on Fox News right now. It just came down in the last hour. So this guy it says he's Pakistani, but was working with Iran, traveled to New York City, and was trying to hire a hitman. And they say that the plan was to carry out an assassination late August, early September on a, air quotes, high-ranking U.S. official, which this report says potentially includes Trump. Now, that's all I got. I read the whole report as it is. It's only like 6 paragraphs. And the rest of it is just goofy quotes from people who say, I can't say anything, or there'll be more, there's an ongoing investigation, that kind of stuff. But our newsroom's digging on it right now, and we'll probably have more information on it for you in about 9 minutes. But for now, we're talking about top story of the day. Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, has now been named as Kamala Harris's vice presidential running mate for Decision 2024. And look, I like to be open in this show in the fact that look, obviously I have my political opinions, you do too, but I want this show to be listenable and palatable for people, no matter if you're on Team Red, Team Blue, or an independent. So I don't try and hit too hard, and I don't try and tear people down, and I try and see it at least from your point of view. And if you are on Team View, I think you would like this pick. I think this guy's right up your alley. Now, I don't know which flavor of Team Blue you're on, because you guys are in 2 separate categories. You have a weird civil war going on. Are you in the Ricky Gervais side of things? Is that where you're at? Are you one of the sort of Joe Rogan type liberals? One, and the delineating factor I have with my personal friends who are Democrats, do you believe men can have babies? All of them say no, but they will still go out and vote for Team Blue even if they do say that. So does he pass that litmus test? I don't know. He's been very pro a lot of the stuff that you would call woke. He was pro riots. He was pro lockdowns, pro vaccine, pro mask. And while that might horrify a lot of people listening to WBAP, there's a lot of people that hear that kind of stuff and they're like, that sounds great. Let me play you a preview from The Hill. The Hill is a Washington, D.C., what we call Inside the Beltway publication. I don't quote from it very much, but it is useful to see what people inside D.C. think about this guy. And not now that he's been made the nominee. What were they saying last week before he gets tainted by the fact that he may be the guy you need to cheer for to win in November? This is The Hill, which is supposed to be moderate, but they're kind of left.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz emerged as a key player in the Veep stakes last week as his name was increasingly floated in the media. Walz has taken part in various media interviews to hit Vance and Trump. He also has a diverse resume as a former veteran, high school teacher, and congressman. But some Democrats worry Walz could be too progressive for the ticket as Harris looks to reach out to voters outside of the Democratic fold.
So The Hill, which leans, they're kind of center left. They're sort of that Joe Biden-y left. They were worried about him being too progressive. I wonder if they'll say that now. J.D. Vance was already responding. He was on some airplane inside. That's why there's a whole bunch of background noise. But he's standing up in the middle aisle, and someone has a phone in front of his face recording him. And he just found out this morning when it was announced that Walz is going to be the guy he's running against, and they got his immediate reaction, and this is what it was. Sounds like he was already prepared for this answer, too.
I think it's interesting, actually. They make an interesting tag team because, of course, Tim Walz allowed rioters to burn down Minneapolis in the summer of 2020, and then the few who got caught, Kamala Harris helped bail them out of jail.
Yeah, so there's a good connection. Is that going to stick? Maybe. He went a little further than a lot of Team Blue, even a lot of Team Blue governors. Like the nearest Team Blue governor to us is next door, Louisiana. They had a Democrat governor during the lockdown, and he was quite supportive of the lockdown and vaccines and masking and whatnot. But he didn't go as far as the governor in Minnesota did. He didn't set up a snitch line, a line for the, I like the term from Scarface, the chivatos, where if you see someone not wearing a mask, you can snitch on them. That's next level. That's what the Hill's talking about. He does everything Team Blue wants him to do, but he goes a little further in some of these other instances. He takes it, for some people, will that be a little too far? Well, you got to ask yourself, if you're on Team Blue, is it so far away from what they believe that they would vote for Trump? Probably not. Is it so far away from what they believe that they would stay home and just not vote? Yeah, probably not. That's what I'm saying. This is a good pick if you're Kamala. I think the base has to like this pick. It'll get the fringe, but not be too fringe. Pelosi's off her rocker though. She says, Walz, he's not even left. He's just right down the middle. Okay, you can stuff this.
Tim Walz, I know very well. He served in the House. To characterize him as left is so unreal. It's just not what the question. He's right down the middle.
Yeah, sure, right down the middle. Having the snitch line. More to the left than other blue governors. Other than that, though, right down the middle. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Talmadge Boston, a historian and attorney, and try and put some more context on Kamala's VP pick. Will they be able to defeat Trump and Vance? 800-288-9227 if you want to get in on the conversation. Again, I would like to talk to someone from Team Blue and hear your thoughts on Tim Walz being your VP on the ticket. 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Homeowners, listen to me. You need to get that roof inspected. Unless you just built it and moved into it recently. They say if your house is more than 7 years old, then you need to have annual inspections. I didn't say that. Bob Vila said it. So he knows a little bit more about home improvement than I do. Maybe you'll want to listen to him. But if you if you want to get that solved, you're thinking, oh man, I got to pay for a roof inspection every year now. No, Paradigm Roofing has a free roof inspection. What? Excuse me? Yes, a free roof inspection. And if you do have an issue that needs to be dealt with, you could qualify for $500 off any repairs when you say you heard them on WBAP. Now, that's what Greg Hill wants to do for you. He's the owner of Paradigm Roofing. So let me recap. He will come out and he will inspect your roof for free. If there is an issue, which there's probably not, you'll get a discount just by mentioning to Greg that you heard it on my show. So you can call right now or go online to schedule your appointment. I know you haven't had that roof checked out since you got the inspection when you bought the house, have you? Well, let's be a little responsible, be proactive, save yourself some money, because if something's going wrong now, it's cheaper to fix it before a roof leak ruins other things to go along with it. 972-542-7774. Go to paradigmroofs.com or 972-542-7774.
This is Ernie Brown sitting here with Jeff Jr. of Trajan Wealth. You've helped a lot of people determine how much to put into their 401k and what investments to put it into, but you mentioned a big mistake that most people make. What's that?
One of the biggest mistakes people make is leaving their 401k behind when they leave their job. And another big mistake is rolling it into your new 401k.
Really? Why is that?
By leaving it behind, you completely lose control. You never want to leave your money with an old employer. And if you roll it into a new 401k, you'll often have limited investment options and may incur costs to do so. Trajan Wealth can help complete the paperwork free of charge and do a tax-free rollover. We can then help invest it according to your exact retirement goals and not just what the employer is offering.
If you have an old 401k or one that you rolled over to a new employer, call Trajan Wealth today at 469-579-3500. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Do you or someone you know have foundation issues? Call Accurate Foundation Repair, 972-623-2500. We've been serving the DFW Metroplex over 25 years with over 20,000 satisfied customers. Accurate offers you a true lifetime transferable warranty backed by a third-party insurance company. Call now and receive a $500 discount on your foundation repair. Call 972-623-2500 or on the web at accuratefoundationrepair.com.
Accurate Foundation Repair. We give you a lift for a whole lot less.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station. Trending now.
A man with ties to Iran charged with assassination plots in the U.S. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
Crash in Rockwall is now causing a full closure of I-30 eastbound. Traffic's forced to exit at FM 3549. You can get back on after FM 551. It's causing about a 30 to 45 minute delay starting around Highway 205 Goliad Street. We also still have a crash in Coppell on westbound 635 near Freeport Parkway. It's also causing about a 30-minute jam starting around Olympus Boulevard. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got 'em. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, clear tonight with a low 79 degrees. It is 99 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. The Justice Department says a Pakistani man alleged to have ties to Iran has been charged in a plot to carry out political assassinations on U.S. soil. Prosecutors in Brooklyn announced criminal charges today against a Asif merchant, accusing him of traveling to New York to try to hire a hitman. The plot was disrupted before it could be carried out. Court documents don't identify any of the potential targets. Hezbollah forces launching drones into Israel as fighting within the Gaza Strip continues. Fox's Trey Yingst has the latest on possible growing conflicts in the region.
This afternoon, sirens were sounding. Hezbollah drones were launched into northern Israel, injuring a number of people that were taken to local hospitals. Later in the day, the leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, making an address to the world, issuing new threats against Israel. And it comes as the country is bracing for what is expected to be a massive attack by Iran and its proxies, including Hezbollah and the Houthis in Yemen. The Israelis are on high alert at this hour. They worry that this response to the killing of Hamas political leader Ismail in Tehran just last week will be widespread and possibly will target not just military positions in this country, but also civilian areas.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said his country stands ready for any action taken against them. Your Money News, a judge ruled that Google's ubiquitous search engine has been illegally exploiting its dominance to squash competition and stifle innovation. It's a seismic decision that could shake up the internet and hobble one of the world's best-known companies. The Dow closing up 294 points, NASDAQ up 167, the S&P 500 up by 54. Again, the high today, around 100 degrees. It is 99 in Dallas, 100 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Structured Foundation Repairs. Your next news update is at 4 o'clock. I'm Eric Bushman. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected DFW to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP for the latest on Decision 2024.
You ever been to a Broadway show? Well, the players on the Dallas Cowboys roster are getting ready to take the stage this Sunday. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. So 90 players start training camp, and that number eventually is cut to 53. And if you want to be on the team, in the show, Sunday is your chance to shine. And a lot of us are wondering how this rookie class is going to look after 2 weeks out in Southern California, where you've got left tackle Tyler Guyton, wondering if he looks the part. How far away is Cooper Beebe from mastering snapping the ball? Is Marshawn Nealon ready with in-rusher Sam Williams out for the year to take over that spot? And can Trey Lance play well enough to take the backup quarterback spot from Cooper Rush? Now, most of our focus at camp has been on the offensive side, talking about the contract situations with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. But how about new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer, the former coach of the Minnesota Vikings, who's replaced Dan Quinn, calling the shots on defense? Cowboys wide receiver Jalen Brooks praising what he called the insane disguise and complexity of Zimmer's defense. So the countdown is on to Sunday and that first preseason game when they play at the Los Angeles Rams. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
This report is brought to you by the On-Time Experts Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Hi there, it's consumer advocate Pete Thompson. If you've been told you need a new air conditioning system, don't get ripped off. Call the On-Time Experts for a free second opinion and learn the truth about your current system. TheOnTimeExperts.com. That's TheOnTimeExperts.com.
This report is sponsored by Superstar Car Wash.
Unbelievable savings at Superstar Car Wash. Lock in unlimited car washes for just $10 a month with our Clean Plan. Enjoy free vacuums, microfiber towels, and much more. Don't wait. Visit any of our 19 DFW Superstar Car Wash locations. Terms and conditions apply.
DFW's only FM news, talk, traffic, and weather station. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome back to the big show. I am your host, James Parker. I would like to hear your thoughts. Tim Walz being the VP pick for Kamala. If you don't have an opinion, that's okay. Most people never heard of this guy until recently. If you did happen to just maybe fleetingly catch his name in the news, it was because he was letting his cities burn during the Summer of Love for George Floyd. Other than that, we're all doing a bunch of little research, being good little informed citizens and finding out what we can. I would love to hear from you. 800-288-9227 with a special call out for my listeners in Team Blue. This is your time to shine. I would love to hear what you think. And I would love to hear from a Democrat what a Democrat thinks. I don't want to speculate and where I say, well, it sounds like be a good pick if I was on Team Blue, because that's what I think, but it just means more coming from someone on that side. 800-288-9227. Let's ask my next guest. Talmadge Boston is back on the James Show. Welcome, sir. Your thoughts on Tim Walz being Kamala Harris's running mate?
I think it's a really strange pick. I think that if she really wants to win in November, which presumably she does, that Josh Shapiro would have been a better pick. Pennsylvania is the most important swing state, has the most electoral votes, and putting him on the ticket would presumably get her over the top to win Pennsylvania. But she's rejected him. Tim Walz being from a non-swing state of Minnesota, on the assumption that he's going to appeal to the nearby states of Michigan and Wisconsin. To me, that seems a little far-fetched. His voting record when he was in Congress, and particularly as governor, and the issues that he's taken on align with her progressive stance, as opposed to being aimed to try to balance the ticket toward the moderates or the middle way. Most recent op-ed piece for the Dallas Morning News, of which I'm a contributing columnist, was about the need to balance the ticket with somebody who would be appealing to the moderate middle, and both Josh Shapiro and Senator Kelly from Arizona both seem to be a better fit for that criteria than Walz. I mean, among other things, Walz has been a successful advocate for giving voting rights to felons in Minnesota, providing driver's license for illegal aliens in Minnesota. He wants a carbon-free grid by 2040, which obviously is only 16 years away. He's provided breakfast and lunch for all public and charter school students, regardless of what their income level is. So these are the kinds of issues that people in the middle presumably won't resonate with many of them. So I think it's a strange choice. From what I've read this afternoon, after it all came down, it apparently did turn on the factor that Kamala Harris simply, from a personal chemistry standpoint, felt better with Walz than she did with Shapiro. Maybe Shapiro was losing track of who was the president on the ticket and who would be the vice president, and came on a little strong in that respect. Walz is supposed to be a very, very likable person. She also really likes the fact that he came up with this very successful characterization of Trump Vance as being weird, which has gone viral and now is being used constantly by everybody who opposes Trump Vance. She thought that was pretty clever. He is a good public speaker, but whether he can have any influence outside of his own state and Minnesota, he doesn't need to impact Minnesota. They're going to go blue. So all around, just a strange choice.
I have Shirley over here on Facebook. Here's your comments, and she says, "Careful, we didn't think Biden would win either. Scary times." Your response to that, Talmadge?
Well, I don't know who didn't think Biden would win. Biden was always in the hunt. It went down to the wire. There's always going to be a lot of people who love Donald Trump and a lot of people who don't love Donald Trump. So Biden's beating Trump was not what I consider to be surprising. Trump's beating Hillary Clinton in 2016 was very surprising. So this thing is going down to the wire. I'm not predicting the outcome. The 7 swing states are going to determine the outcome, and in those races, it's largely going to be the independents in the middle. Are they going to prefer the far right Trump Vance or the far left Harris Walz? That we're going to be finding out. Polls are going to be changing every single day, and they're all going to be close. So it's a horse race. It's going down to the wire. But if you wanted to position yourself to be in the best possible position to win, as I said, this was a strange choice.
So Minnesota is the state, that Tim Walz is governor of. It's the state that has gone the longest without voting for the Republicans in the presidential election. Now, most of the board got wiped in 1984 because everyone voted for the Republicans in 1984 except for Minnesota.
And of course, Mondale was, his opponent. So Mondale won a grand total of one state, which was his home state of Minnesota.
Right. So even in the Reagan landslide, Minnesota was the one lone holdout. The last time they voted for a Republican was in the other 49 state wipeout by Nixon in 1972. Minnesota hasn't gone red since 1972. It feels like more of a swing state, like a Wisconsin or a Michigan. But you're right, that is a solid blue. That makes the pick a little more questionable.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's going to go blue whether Walz is on the ticket or not. And historically, a VP pick is going to have strength only in the state that he or she comes from. So you didn't need strength to win Minnesota, and you definitely do need strength to win Pennsylvania. So I'm sure the Democrats are going to lock arms and act like everybody's happy and nobody's divided. And the first event tonight is in Philadelphia. And, of course, the convention is only a couple of weeks away. I mean, had Harris picked Shapiro, there are a lot of Arabs and leftists who had already said, and anti-Semites who had already said they were planning major protests in the streets of Chicago, reminiscent of 1968 and the Vietnam protests that were, nationally televised and a huge embarrassment to Democrats in terms of the conflict. So presumably that also was a factor in Harris deciding that the safer pick for purposes of avoiding major protest escalation during the convention would be Walz.
All right, Talmadge Boston, thank you for your time again. How do they find you outside of the James Show?
Well, TalmadgeBoston.com, and I'm a contributing columnist for the Dallas Morning News. I'm a partner at the Shackelford Law Firm, so you can Google my name and find me all those ways. And my book, of course, is on Amazon, and also in Terabang Books. Has sold over 800 copies of it, so they're my favorite bookstore on West Lovers. So those are the places. And James, it's always great to be on your show.
Thanks. Yeah, that bookshop's not too far from us. Talmadge Boston, y'all. Talmadge, TALMAGE, Boston.com. Thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, your thoughts, Tim Walz as VP. We will continue. I'll have the conversation with you if you want to call in at 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227, and then I'll show you some reaction from around the discussion that's being had in our country at large. You want to hear what Ben Stiller had to say next? What about Jeff Bridges? It's coming up on the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
This is Casey Bartholomew, and coming up Wednesday morning at 9:04, war is about to start in the Middle East, terrorists are oozing across our southern border, and the stock market is crashing. So, of course, the federal government wants you to stop using plastic utensils, because that'll bring puppies and unicorns and world peace and all that stuff. We'll talk about it. The Casey Bartholomew Show, weekday mornings from 9 to 11 on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Guys, let's talk weight loss, energy, and muscle tone. Are the dad bod jokes too frequent these days? Well, the testosterone experts at Synergenics are known for advanced TRT treatment, but they're also experts with GLP-1 weight loss medications. At Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, you get TRT test results on your first visit, and you can also be evaluated for prescription weight loss treatment. Do it now. Don't wait. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com. That's SYNER GenXHealth.com. That's SYNERGENX Health.com. Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss.
If you have cancer, you have a powerful choice. An advanced cancer treatment available right here in North Texas at Texas Center for Proton Therapy. Proton therapy precisely targets your cancer, sparing healthy tissue for fewer side effects. No doctor's referral is needed, so visit TexasProtons.com to find out if you're a candidate. Powerful cancer treatment, a powerful choice. The power of proton therapy at Texas Center for Proton Therapy.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Summer's just getting started, so fill your cooler with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. It tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. And with a 5% kick of alcohol, Twisted Tea is perfect for the beach, the lake, or wherever you're hanging out and day drinking with your friends. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
School is almost here, and if there's two things I can count on, it's my kids needing new outfits because they grow like weeds, and Cole stocking their favorite styles. With the back-to-school customer appreciation event going on, I scored 30% off tees, jeans, sneakers, and more when I shopped with a Kohl's card. No card? No problem. Rewards members save 20%, and everyone else saves 15%, plus earn Kohl's cash. When it comes to back to school, you gotta go back to Kohl's. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 11th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
In the wake of the recent storms, the residential metal roofing professionals at Mueller Inc. stand with the neighbors as we begin to rebuild together. Hi, everybody. Hal J. here. Before you replace the roof on your home, be sure to consider all of your options, especially those that can help prevent roof damage in the future. Residential metal roofing from Mueller offers outstanding protection against Mother Nature. When installed to specifications, their roofing is designed to withstand winds up to an excess of 100 miles per hour. Plus, Mueller offers a wide selection of colors to give you the beautiful look you want for your home. When you choose Mueller, they will be with you every step of the way, from design to manufacturing to delivery. And they back the products with limited warranties of up to 30 years and over 85 years of experience. Call 877-2-MUELLER or online at MUELLERINC, MuellerInc.com. Be sure to tell them Hal J said to call.
Brought to you by Sewell Buick GMC.
Experience Sewell's obsession with customer service at Sewell Buick GMC of Dallas. Test drive a new or certified pre-owned vehicle at Sewell Buick GMC or visit SewellBuickGMC.com.
Still dealing with a crash in Coppell on westbound 635 at Freeport Parkway. It has traffic stop and go back from Olympus Boulevard. Looks like about a 30 to 45 minute delay. We have a new crash in Dallas in the LBJ Express lanes heading eastbound at TI Boulevard. Right lane is blocked there. That's causing about a 20-minute jam back from Coit. We also have a new crash that just popped up in Euless, eastbound 183 just before Euless, Maine. Traffic here starting to stack up around FM 157 Industrial, and they cleared a crash in Rockwall 30 eastbound just before FM 551. Still about a 15-minute delay unwinding. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. You know, something weird about having this job that probably doesn't happen at your job. Every once in a while, I'll get a text saying, wait, is this the James that I knew like 20 years ago? Or is this the James like from my hometown? Or is this the James? Yeah. How many James Parkers are there? I know there's more than one, but don't I kind of sound the same? Took you a while to figure that out? Took you 7 months, 8 months to figure that out? Yes. You know me. I'm from here. And I don't know. I don't know what's on your mind now because I've been doing this so long. I'm obviously biased. But are you used to everyone who's on your radio from being from another town? Because I'm not. I know half of you people, it feels like. 800-288-9227 if you have any comments on Kamala Harris picking Tim Walz as her VP. And listen, Team Blue, somebody call. Every once in a while, I'll put out the beacon for a Team Blue call, and I'll get like 10 calls. I've only gotten 2 today from Team Blue. We can do better than that. I want to hear from you. 800-288-9227. And actually, I'm not going to beat you up at all on this one. I think this is kind of an encouraging day for my Team Blue listeners. You should be very happy with this. 800-288-9227. Daniel in Weatherford, you're on WBAP. What do you think?
Yeah, yes, sir. And this is just my thoughts. As I was telling your screener, to not pick a Jewish running mate in fear of backlash from anti-Semitic Jew haters, isn't that, in essence, shaking hands with racism in itself?
Not really. It's that term is so overused. We don't need to start misusing it in the ways they do. Now, if the roles were reversed, they would call it racism.
In the ways they do.
Right. Now, yeah, if we use their definition of racism, yes, you are correct. But it's not indicative that they think, Jews have inherent traits that render them better or worse than other races. I mean, that might be true, but we can't know that just from them picking someone else. But you're right. If the roles were reversed, that would be thrown at them. Just like what they're doing now. Every long form discussion from a left-leaning platform says, man, I wish they would stop talking about her race and gender. And then they say that for about 30 minutes.
Well, right. And then, when all else fails, because Kamala's husband's Jewish, when all else fails, then all of a sudden, if you don't vote for Kamala, are you even Jewish? So, we'll see how it plays out.
Oh, yeah, because, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. The same thing.
There you go.
Right. That's what we got going on. Wait, Kamala's husband's Jewish?
That's what I was told.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. I didn't know that. I just thought it was just a regular old white guy. All right. Interesting stuff. Thank you very much, Daniel in Weatherford. 800-288-9227 if you want to jump in on this. 800-288-9227. When you go through the sound bites here, some of the funny stuff is coming from the white dudes for Trump. It's just so weird because we love these guys. I love Jeff Bridges. I love Ben Stiller. But they're both hilarious. They're great actors. They're very talented. I know Ben Stiller's also a great writer on top of that. But listen to how awkward he is in the white dudes for Kamala call over the weekend.
This is a chance to really, to protect democracy and to go in the right direction and go forward. So that's why everybody's got to get out and vote and donate. And she's also a historic candidate. It's going to be the first woman president. And that's incredibly exciting. And, she's Indian, she's black, she's everything. You can be more than one thing. It's incredible. I'm Jewish and Irish. I wish I was black. Every white Jewish guy wishes he was black.
Is that true? All white Jewish guys, do you wish you were black? 800-288-9227. Let's ask Al in Dallas. You're on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think?
I don't think that is the case. However, I'm just wondering why this $30 trillion deficit has not been addressed. Nobody's addressing that. We're talking about all these nebulous issues, abortion and all this other garbage, the border. Close the border down. I mean, I'm all for that. Close the border down. Let's deal with it from that aspect. But the 2025 doctrine that states that if you're not pledging to MAGA that you're going to be fired or dealt with accordingly, that dictatorial type of rhetoric makes me never want to vote for anyone, Republican, Independent, or Democrat.
Yeah, well, you were trained that if Project 2025 scares you, you were trained for it to scare you. That's something the Heritage Foundation puts out at least every 4 years, if not every 2 years, and they've said something similar. Someone has seized on that and used it to scare you. Donald Trump didn't sign off on that. Now, he probably agrees with a lot of what's in there, but it's not like it was coordinated and this is going to be his blueprint. And the idea of wiping out a staff and filling it with your cronies is not only not scary, it's the most normal thing in the world. When Bill Clinton came in, he fired every single attorney general in every single district and replaced them all with allies. And George W. Bush didn't do that. Donald Trump didn't do that. But that it wasn't scary when Bill Clinton did it. So don't be trained to be scared of this guy. And number one, you and I might be best friends, because that's the number one thing that I'm concerned about is $35 trillion deficit. That's the thing that's affecting me and you and everyone listening the most, Al. It's the reason why that deficit spending is why my McDonald's breakfast this morning was $10. That's why my lunch was $14, and that's why your rent's going up. That's why the price of everything's going up. That's why your groceries are 20% higher than they were in 2020 at this time. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Neither party takes that serious, and I think that's just a damn shame, because that's the one that hurts all of us the most.
Well, I tend to be a student of politics, and when we were in college, we were trained to vote for the best person with the best policies. So we voted Republican and we voted Democratic. It just depends on who was supporting our university and who was supporting the state in terms of the best policies. And I think that is like the issue, and that is what's going to bring this country down, is the Republicans are fighting and the Democrats are fighting, and instead of there being some type of cohesion, it's who wants to run the government. I mean, you talk about getting rid of the swamp, every single one of those Congress people should be gone. The Senate, the House, every single one of them, and start from scratch. That's the only way the American public is going to have a fair chance of having fair government, and that's what's going to make America great. Not again, but it's going to make America great initially, is to get rid of every politician, start from scratch, get people in there that's going to represent us, cut the lobbyists. That should be cut completely out. That is a farce. The American public is so overwhelmingly fooled. You talk about trained. Yeah, we're trained. We're trained to be party loyalists instead of country loyalists.
All right, Al, I'm just out of time. I love what you're saying there. You seem like the type of Team Blue that overlaps very well with your libertarian host here. If you want to be next, 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
At the Wilhite Law Firm, we handle accident cases differently. If you're injured, we'll drive to your home to meet you. We'll return every call and keep you updated every step of the way. Here's the difference. We were awarded Best Law Firm in 2023 because we work with you side by side. We win big for our clients. Texas-size settlements big. Get your free case review at WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com. WilhiteWins.com. Don't delay. Click today.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Hey fellas, did you know testosterone starts to decline in your 30s? If you're feeling a loss of energy and drive, it could be low T. Well, the answer's simple. Get checked out at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Don't put it off. At Synergenics, you'll get testing and customized care from providers who specialize in testosterone therapy, or TRT. And you can also be evaluated for treatment with GLP-1 weight loss medications. Book your appointment at SynergeticsHealth.com. That's SYNERGenXHealth.com. Testosterone and weight loss.
Hello, DFW. Marcus Kajawa here, bringing you another incredible land buying opportunity. On Saturday, August 10th, the former estate of a Texas legend will be liquidated in tracts ranging from 5 to 25 acres. Properties have road frontage, high elevation, incredible views, and have access to a deep, crystal clear, completely private lake. Come out and buy 5 acres with your own pond for only $35,000. How about 5 dockable acres right on the lake for only $59,000? This is lake living. Imagine the family fun. Call us now. 800-684-4611. That's 800-684-4611. Buy 5 acres for only $35,000 with no hassle owner financing. If the line's busy, keep calling. 800-684-4611. That's 800-684-4611.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station.
Trending now.
What we know about the Minnesota governor tapped to be the vice president's running mate. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
75 southbound at Haskell on-ramp partially blocked off for a wreck. Still got one on 635 eastbound at TI Boulevard. That one in the express lanes, but it's heavy to Coit. 635 westbound Freeport Parkway. They did clear a wreck out. That's starting to unwind. 183 westbound at Euless, Maine. There's a wreck blocking that left lane. On WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
I'm WFA meteorologist Kyle Roberts. Still plenty of heat on the way the rest of the week and into the upcoming weekend. Tonight we'll have mainly clear skies and a low of 78. Then it's up to 103 tomorrow for your Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine to go around, and your heat index will be a little hotter than the actual temperature as well. Thursday we hit 104. Friday's around 103. A little bit better this weekend though. We'll go around 98 on Saturday and 99 on Sunday.
99 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm. Vice President Kamala Harris is choosing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. Fox's Brian Yennis has more on the Minnesota governor.
He served 6 terms in Congress, and notably, he was governor of Minnesota during the George Floyd riots, in which he himself characterized the response to the destructive riots as, quote, an abject failure. Expect Republicans to exploit more progressive laws that were signed by Walz as governor of Minnesota, like, for instance, his first executive order established a DEI council. He signed an executive order guaranteeing gender-affirming care for transgender youth, a bill guaranteeing abortion rights, free college tuition, as well as signing a free universal school meals bill.
Harris is set to appear alongside her running mate for the first time during a rally in Philadelphia, where she and Walz will kick off a cross-country tour. A suspect is in the hospital after the stabbing of a driver after a crash on a Dallas highway this morning. That suspect is also accused of running over 2 more drivers who stopped to help the victim. Dallas police spokeswoman Kristen Lohman says it happened along LBJ Freeway between Greenville Avenue and Forest Lane.
There was a TxDOT employee that saw the accident and had stopped to help. The suspect got into the TxDOT vehicle, hit that employee, and then crashed the TxDOT vehicle.
Others eventually wrestled the suspect to the ground and held him until police arrived. The driver who was stabbed is in critical condition. Lohman says charges are pending. Your money news: the University of Texas at Arlington is expanding in Tarrant County.
The UT Board of Regents approved a plan to purchase 51 acres in West Fort Worth to build a new campus. While the purchase price wasn't disclosed, the funding to buy the land will come from the system's permanent university fund. The new campus, known as UTA West, is being developed as part of a multi-year plan to serve more than 10,000 students and is expected to start holding classes in the fall of 2028. The University of Texas at Arlington currently has an enrollment of 41,000 students and is the second largest institution in the UT system. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
The Dow closed up 294 points, NASDAQ up 167, the S&P 500 up by 54. Again, the low tonight around 79. It is 99 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news also brought to you by Structured Foundation Repairs. Your next news update is at 4:30. I'm Eric Bushman. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP for the latest on Decision 2024.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, beautiful Texans. Welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Let's go. I did something really pathetic, absolutely pathetic, during Bushman's newscast over there. I'm trying to be more responsible about what I eat. And we have a vending machine in the break room, and I need to stop eating so much junk food and eating out of the vending machine like it's legit food. So I did this. It's so sad. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you. But I'm hungry, so I went to the machine and I just looked at it. And I just thought, ooh, beef jerky. Yeah, that would be good right now. And oh, look, they have Nutty Buddies too. Man, I'm not going to eat one. I'm not going to put in my money and actually get one out. But can you imagine what it'd be like if I had some of those gummy worms? Oh my, oh yeah. And what order would if I had the ability to eat it? What would I eat first? You know, that trail mix. Then snap out of it, James. Get back to work. So sad. All right, back to business here. Your thoughts. Tim Walz has been announced as Kamala Harris's running mate. Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota, and now everyone is becoming very quickly a Tim Walz expert, and I would love to hear your expertise. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Let's ask my next guest. Ashley Hayek is back on from America First Works. And Ashley, your thoughts. Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's running mate. Is that a good choice for her?
Well, did you hear Rashida Tlaib and Bernie Sanders doing backflips? Because they are extremely happy for Governor Walz to be the running mate, which tells you that Kamala Harris has caved to the extreme radical left wing of her party.
Wow, hang on. Listen, I know you're partisan, and that's cool, but she didn't cave to that wing of the party. She is that wing of the party. This is right in line with her principles and stuff. So she's not violating her principles and going left for Tim Walz. This is right in line.
Well, sure. So maybe she leaned in instead of going. I think a lot of people thought she would have gone with Josh Shapiro, who's very well liked, has a higher favorability in Pennsylvania. That's actually a battleground state, although Minnesota is now in place, and maybe it shows you that the left feels even more threatened than what they originally indicated. But you'll hear the left continue to try to frame Governor Walz as a moderate.
Right.
But you will realize that California Kamala picks somebody who believes in big government socialism, signing and celebrating legislation that gives driver's licenses for illegal aliens, gives them free health care, free college tuition, bans fossil fuels, he has called Minnesota a trans refuge state, allowing gender modification of minors without parental consent, putting feminine products in boys' bathrooms. It's everything that you don't want as a parent is wrapped up in Governor Tim Walz.
Right. And so half of that stuff that you just mentioned, you and I don't support those policies and we wouldn't vote for them. But that sounds like something that would appeal to your average middle of the road Team Blue voter. A couple of things in there, though, definitely would not. And that's become my litmus test on if you're on Team Blue. Are you too far gone to be reasonable, or are you someone that I probably agree with on 90% of issues? There's just a few hot button things we disagree with. And the whole tampon and men's room thing lets me know that this is a guy who pretends like he doesn't know the difference between a man and a woman. And that's what I consider too extreme.
I agree. And you look at the parental rights piece of that, undermining parents' rights, that's a 80% issue. And when you go into Black and minority communities, that's an 85, 90, 95% issue.
Wait. Why are you calling it what do you mean 85, 90%? What do you mean?
Meaning that they oppose.
Oh, okay.
Like gender modification of minor kids and having men compete in women's sports. These are not popular ideas for the left. It doesn't win them any votes. It doesn't, you look at Kamala, who's basically changed the strategy from Joe Biden, who is focused on the Rust Belt. She's obviously focused on the Sun Belt. She's looking more at North Carolina, Georgia. She's definitely trying to draw a distinction with ethnicity, trying to earn back some of the Black vote that she lost. And when you start embracing these complete radical policies, you're going to continue to lose all of these people.
Do you think it helps or hurts her overall for the November vote?
Absolutely hurts her.
Really?
It is the gender issue is not an issue for, if you're talking about the gender issue, that's going to absolutely hurt her. When you start, I think right now what you're seeing is a lot of minority communities ask the question, what has the Democrat Party done for me? Over 4 years ago, before COVID, you had an economy that was thriving. You had a president and administration that put forth policies that lowered our gas prices, stopped government spending, helped, with the child tax credits. And now we're at a place where our taxes are going up. Everything's unaffordable. Things cost 2, 3, 4 times what they cost before. It's 20% on rent and energy minimum. People are starting to ask the question, like, what does the Democrat Party do for me? And the answer is not a whole lot.
Well, here's interesting part, and I don't believe in ad hominem attacks, and no, this doesn't matter, and it shouldn't really matter. The policy positions, all right, all the qualifiers in there. He's bald. You know when the last time we had a bald president was?
Well, he's VP.
Right, but still, it's very unusual to see even a VP up there that's bald-headed. When's the last time we had a bald guy up there?
I don't recall.
Dick Cheney.
Maybe that's the
Dick Cheney kind of bald.
Deal breaker.
Yeah, but Dick Cheney kind of bald. Last bald president, Eisenhower.
True.
Other thing, we hadn't had a president with facial hair since Taft, but Tim Walz doesn't fit that description. How can we find your work outside of the James Show, Ashley?
AmericaFirstWorks.com, and we are mobilizing the vote for November and need all hands on deck.
How does someone help?
Just sign up, and we have a million programs, whether it's letter writing, door knocking, text messaging. Would love to have everyone involved. When you sign up, you'll get information right away on all the different activities that you can do to help us with the America First movement.
All right. So after the election, you're going to have a little more free time. Can we set up like a door knocking campaign for the James Show? Just go door to door in Plano and be like, hey, you want to listen to WBAP in the afternoons? That'd be great. Thank you, Ashley.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you don't really have to do that. That was just a dad joke I threw in at the end there. But your thoughts on what Ashley Hyatt just shared from America First Works, and I'd love to hear from you. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. I'd really like to hear from Team Blue. Another Team Blue call would be great. The last one we had was exactly what I was looking for. And this is your chance to shine. You had your VP announced today. What do you think of Tim Walz? Democrats, call 800-288-9227. Of course, other people can call too. This is the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Cowboys training camp updates throughout your day, weekday mornings and afternoons. Powered by Mullen & Mullen Law Firm. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
I was waiting to pay my taxes till we had enough in the bank. I was going to pay them eventually, but we had to have enough money to live on. Now, the IRS threatens my paycheck and bank accounts. These are things we commonly hear from our clients. Hi, I'm Dallas tax attorney Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Nick Namath. When the IRS comes after you, it can be devastating. We also hear, the IRS is coming after my house. I owe $20,000 in penalties alone. They said I can even go to jail. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, tax liens, and unfiled returns or past due taxes, call Nick Namath now. For over 20 years, the law offices of Nick Namath has been helping individuals and businesses in Texas stand up to the IRS and sometimes even drastically reduce what's owed. You deserve a team of experienced local tax attorneys, not some out-of-town, non-attorney tax resolution office. Call Nick Namath, the DFW tax attorney, for a free confidential consultation at 972-484-0829 or go to myirsteam.com.
Here's Dan Bongino for Expo Home Improvement.
Dan Bongino here for Expo Home Improvement. August always feels like a fresh start, and what better way to get a fresh start than with a gorgeous bathroom remodel? They can take an outdated bathroom and transform it into a stunning spa-like environment in as little as one day. From sleek modern to updated classic, find the perfect look to fit your taste. And Expo Home will handle every detail from start to finish. No need for you to handle the shuffling the contract. Expo Home Improvement is proud to be locally owned and serving Texans since 2006, and they pride themselves on treating each of their customers like the neighbors they are. They're thrilled to announce that in addition to window replacement, Expo Home now also offers kitchen cabinet refacing, all the benefits of a fresh new look without the expense and hassle of a full remodel. So don't waste another minute. Visit expohomeimprovement.com today to schedule your consultation and take the first step towards the bath, shower, or kitchen of your dreams just in time to enjoy it over the holidays. Expo Home Improvement, improving homes, transforming lives.
This is Victor McClure from the Common Sense Investing Radio Show. In my 30-plus years as a financial advisor, I've never seen higher income payouts than right now. For years, I could invest in an annuity for 10 years. The payout would be about $100,000 a year per million. That's about 10% of what I put it in. And that's income for me and my spouse as long as we live. Now, I'm getting up to $150,000 per million over the same deferring 10 years. Just to get that 10% is only taking 3 or 4 years now. These higher interest rates we have temporarily are causing these historically high annuity payouts. As soon as they start lowering interest rates, annuity payouts will also decrease. Think about it. Up to 15% guaranteed. In other words, every million gives me $150,000 a year in joint life income. My heirs still get the balance if something happens to me. Call us, and we'll give you the exact guaranteed income amounts based on your situation. Call 972-960-8700. Again, 972-960-8700, or go to ilovemyretirement.com.
Are you dreading the idea of dental implants? There's no need to worry. We have Dr. Steve Brown of the Dental Implant Place here in the Metroplex. Dr. Brown is a pioneer in the minimally invasive technique that gives you a beautiful smile, reduces healing time, is much less painful, and in most cases costs less than other dentists in our area. Dr. Brown has placed over 12,000 implants and has trained other dentists throughout the country in this revolutionary technique. Along with a compassionate, experienced staff, the whole team at the Dental Implant Place is ready and able to help you realize your dream smile.
I want to meet with you personally. Minimally invasive techniques, all-inclusive pricing, all in one place, and compassionate care. See the difference for yourself at thedentalimplantplace.com. That's thedentalimplantplace.com. Your new smile is here.
Mention this ad and receive 15% off your total price when starting new treatment in the month of August. Financing excluded.
Paul, what's that sound in your attic?
Oh, yeah, that's just the devil.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he goes up there in the Texas summers. Says it's hotter than hell up there. He loves it.
Paul, that's insane.
Hey, Paul. I'm going to be late on rent again. Not sorry. Also, that new haircut is horrible.
If your attic is more than 20 degrees hotter than the outside temperature, you're damaging your HVAC system, your roof, and wasting your money. At Firehouse Roofing, we see that 7 out of 10 homes in DFW have this problem, and we have a super easy solution. Introducing the Firehouse Attic Diagnosis for only $55. Our trucks are in every single neighborhood every week, so it's super easy for us to stop by, check the status of your attic, and create a custom ventilation and insulation plan. Plus, if you decide to move forward with any work, we will waive the cost of your diagnosis completely. Call Firehouse today and ask for our attic diagnosis.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Honey, what are you doing?
The garage door only shuts if you sprint and hurdle over the sensor perfectly.
This isn't a track and field event. We need Wellborn Garage. They'll replace our garage door opener same day, and scheduling is easy at callwellborngarage.com.
You're right. Calling Wellborn's better than me pulling a hamstring.
Open the door to quality and more. Wellborn Garage Doors.
This 2024 Summer Olympics go beyond the stats and highlights to connect with original stories of our North Texas athletes live. I'm NBC5's Laura Harris, and I'll see you in Paris.
The Paris Olympic Games on NBC5.
Get connected with NBC5 News on your favorite streaming services.
Stream us for free on Samsung TV Plus, the Roku channel, Xumo Play, and Fire TV.
The most accurate forecasts, breaking news, plus exclusive stories.
Get connected at nbcdfw.com/everywhere.
Problem spot on 75 southbound at Haskell, partially blocking the ramp. Also got an issue 635 eastbound at the Dallas North Tollway. 2 right lanes blocked off there. 25-minute backup to Webb Chapel. A 635 eastbound at TI Boulevard. That one's still hanging out in the right lane. It's slow back to Coit. 183 westbound at Euless, Maine. The 2 left lanes are blocked. You got a 40-minute backup all the way to Valley View Lane. When WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Brought to you by All Pro Foundation Repair. Separation from the soil, sheetrock cracks, or sticking doors, those are signs of foundation problems, and they don't get better on their own. So call the pros at All Pro Foundation Repair today at 877 Mean Green.
All Pro Foundation Repair, the right solution for your home.
DFW's only FM news, talk, traffic, and weather station. News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there. Welcome to the James Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the big show as we are walking through history together. Tim Walz has been announced as Kamala Harris's vice presidential running mate for Decision 2024. And that is the last puzzle piece we were waiting for before we have the whole table set for the final contest coming up. So what are people saying thus far? look, I do care what the people we know from the TV and from politics and the entertainment world and whatnot. It's interesting to hear their opinions, but you know what? I'd rather hear yours. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I would, if you're just joining the show, what you have missed is people doing the right thing in their criticism of both Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, staying away from the ad hominem attacks, staying away from the ugly stuff, staying away from and it shouldn't turn off voters, and people shouldn't be so sensitive as to have their vote decided or even turned off by language that they're like, oh, he's just not very nice. Because that always bothers me. We're not hiring someone to host a dinner party. They don't have to be nice or cordial or likable. They can be a big old jerk. What do they do on policies? But even though it's logically sound in the real world, that just doesn't work too well. There are a lot of voters that were turned off, mostly women, by Trump's personality, by his abrasive attitude, by his, insults. So the fact that we're staying away from insults is fantastic. None of the callers have been throwing out just random old insults. Because, look, there's a lot to make fun of in Tim Walz. You can make fun of his appearance. You can make fun of his weight. You can make fun of his... I don't even want to get into it, because if I tell you what you can make fun of, it looks like I'm making fun of it. So I just wanted to thank you for being so disciplined and, dare I say, intellectual in a situation where emotion usually has too much sway in discussions like this. So you've been a very good actor thus far. But if you haven't jumped in yet, you're still welcome to do so. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. And the white dudes for Kamala, the big Zoom call over the weekend where a bunch of celebrities got together and tried to raise as much as they could for their preferred candidate. The one guy that definitely fit the bill is Jeff Bridges. He is a dedicated Democrat, and if anyone deserves to be on the white dudes for Kamala Harris, it's him, because he is the dude. Like, he is the dude, like from The Big Lebowski, the dude. So I got a clip here from him on the Zoom call that you missed over the weekend, talking about supporting Kamala Harris.
I'm just helping her conceive, man.
No. That was the wrong one. Wrong clip. That was
Man, are you gonna find these guys, or you got any promising leads or
leads? Yeah, sure. I'll just check with the boys down at the crime lab. They got 4 more detectives working on the case. They got us working in shifts.
Hey, I don't think that was from the Zoom call either. I think that was from The Big Lebowski. No, here he is from the Zoom call.
I was brought to the party not so much as being white, and I certainly am, but because I'm a dude,
It almost feels forced, doesn't it? Is there a Republican equivalent of that? And of course, it's not going to be race-based, because you'd be blown out of the water for being a Klansman if it was. But are they doing Zoom call fundraisers like that? I mean, if they're doing Zoom call fundraisers, is there a bunch of celebrities who are jumping in on this? Because we've had black women for Kamala, we've had white women for Kamala, we've had white dudes for Kamala. Or I'm sorry, they're doing it for Harris. White dudes for Harris. Should at least get the name right if I'm going to make fun of it. So that's one side of the aisle. However, when we talk about the division in Team Blue, I was just talking about it with Ashley in the previous segment. Here's a soundbite from the other side of Team Blue. Michael Rappaport, definitely a liberal, definitely a Democrat activist, definitely not a fan of Trump. He called him Pig D and worse for the last 8 years, and very horrible, foul, disgusted videos over and over and over. And to see the guy turn the table, or turn that much based on what he's seen in the last really just a year. And most of this transformation for him has been since October 7th, because he's a Jewish man who's not real happy with the response he's got from his teammates on Team Blue. I'm going to play you a clip here. In the first 4 seconds, this is just a sample of what he sounded like for the last decade. And then you're going to hear a little static and what he sounds like now. And this is what I hear anecdotally from some of my friends on Team Blue. Is this a
The
national
dog,
trend?
He's a con. He's a liar. He's a mutt. I like to punch him in the face. Voting for Trump is on the table. People are like, what are you talking about? That's my reality. I will not vote for Joe Biden. I do not support anybody from the squad. I think they're totally full of I think they're dangerous. I think they're race hustlers. I think they're cons. I think inevitably they want to get themselves production deals to produce documentaries.
Wow, listen to that. And that was an edit in there. He didn't really float on air biscuit. It's just he said a bad word, and I didn't want to beep it. All right, your thoughts next. 800-288-9227. We'll start with Cooper, but if you want to be after Cooper, 800-288-9227. I would love to hear your thoughts on Kamala's VP pick, Tim Walz. Is this going to get him any votes? Is it going to lose him any votes? 800-288-9227. I'll ask you next. It's The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Selling your home is a catch-22. Do you pay for upgrades to sell for more? Or use that money to buy your next home? Orchard gives you both. Orchard makes you an impressive backup cash offer, unlocking cash to buy your new home. Plus, Orchard makes price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. One customer said, Orchard sold my home for far more than I expected, and I got a golf cart. Let Orchard help you sell for more. Visit Orchard.com for your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Looking for a better way to invest? Accredited investors are turning to private commercial real estate with the CRE Income Fund. The CRE Income Fund is designed to deliver 10% dividend yields, passive income, and diversification to help grow your portfolio. Planning for retirement? With a self-directed IRA and the CRE Income Fund, you have control over your investments. Talk to the Dallas team at the CRE Income Fund. Call 833-CRE-FUND or visit CREIncomefund.com. That's 833-CRE-FUND or visit CREIncomefund.com.
When you're hot or cold or the water doesn't flow, think Airco.
Airco Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing has been locally owned for 35 years and has earned thousands of 5-star ratings. Fast, friendly AC plumbing and drain service with no extra fees for nights or weekends. And right now, save big on a new air conditioning system with up to $5,400 in instant rebates and utility incentives. Call 877-ITS-AIRCO or schedule at airco.com.
Airco, we bring comfort home.
Hey, North Texas, I've been talking up to the great folks at Clarity Windows and Doors family for over 20 years now, especially the energy savings we achieved with high-efficiency windows and doors. Also, the added beauty, curb appeal, and the value they add to your home. These windows also keep out the dust and the pollen and the street noise. But the real advantage is saving wear and tear, extending the life of your heating and cooling system. You know, North Texas weather's a roller coaster. Heat, humidity, cold, wind, noise, dust. But Clarity Windows can help control your in-home temperatures and air quality, taking a big load off your AC unit. And right now, you can save 40% off every other window. Also, great financing options to fit your budget. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call 1-888-458-3630 or just click them online at ClarityWindows.com. Love your home again with timeless beauty and savings from Clarity Windows and Doors.
Bring clarity to your home. Clarity Windows and Doors.
Are you struggling with bad feet? This is Brandy, and at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet arch support system.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. Maybe that's the reason all the remedies you've tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're gonna feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me. And good movement starts with the feet.
Find the closest store near you at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
This is Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne. Our office is holding a North Texas Job Fair on August 8th at the Texas Rangers Stadium. I'll be joined by more than 400 employers and a bipartisan group of local, state, and federal leaders. If you're interested in attending as a job seeker or as an employer, visit www.myntxjobs.com for more information. Again, this is Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne. If you're interested in attending our job fair, please visit myntxjobs.com. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station. Trending now.
The new running mate set to campaign with the vice president in a key battleground state. I'm Eric Bushman from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
75 southbound at Haskell on-ramp still partially blocked off for the wreck. Also got a crash 635 eastbound at the tollway in the two right lanes. A 30-minute backup to Josie Lane. 635 eastbound at TI Boulevard still got one of the Tech Express lanes blocked off for that wreck. And the issue on 183 westbound at Euless, Maine taking away a couple of left lanes. 45-minute backup all the way back to Valley View Lane. On WBAP's First Traffic on the Ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
The WBAP forecast, clear tonight with a low 79 degrees. It is 99 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. This news brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. Vice President Kamala Harris set to hold a Philadelphia rally after announcing her newly selected running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Fox's Peter Ducey has more from Philly.
Basically everything here is different than it was just a couple weeks ago when these very same campaign staffers were trying to get Joe Biden elected. There is a DJ playing very loud music. There are more people here than the Democratic ticket has had in the last couple of months. And just about everybody seems like they are on the edge of their seat. On the way here, Vice President Harris talked a little bit about why she picked Walz, and it sounds like the #1 thing that he had going for him is that he's ready to step into the top job.
The vice president says the Minnesota governor will be a great vice president, while former President Trump's campaign slammed him as a dangerously liberal extremist. Your money news: the National Transportation Safety Board is holding a multi-day hearing to discuss that Alaska Airlines flight that lost a panel mid-flight. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homenday spoke from a hearing in Washington.
A Boeing 737 MAX 9 operating as Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 returned to Portland International Airport after the left mid-exit door plug departed the airplane in flight, leading to a rapid decompression.
Only a few passengers suffered what is described as minor injuries. The accident further hurt the safety reputation of Boeing's jets, which has continued to lose money and see more public scrutiny. The Dow closed up 294 points, NASDAQ up 167, the S&P 500 up by 54. Again, the low tonight 79. It is 99 in Dallas, 101 in Fort Worth. Your next news update is at 5 o'clock. I'm Eric Bushman. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected DFW to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP for the latest on Decision 2024.
Well, I guess no news is good news when it comes to contract extensions for Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. But then it probably depends whom you ask. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. Prescott's playing out the last year of his current deal, showing up, doing his job. His agent reportedly got some kind of offer from Jerry Jones recently, but it must not have been what he's looking for, or we would have already had a press conference announcing all the details. And a lot of diehard Cowboy fans have seen enough of this guy the last 8 years, knowing that as good as he's been at times in the regular season, it's the playoffs where he continues to fail. And a change of scenery, if we want to be honest, with a new team might be what he needs to show he is one of the best in the game. And as far as Lamb, he'll eventually report once the two sides come to a number that everybody likes. But while his holdout is at a couple of weeks and counting, his trainer posted a video showing him working out on a beach, working on his speed, agility, and route running in some deep sand. I'm not sure where the beach is. I would have gone to Hawaii. That's your Tuesday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by the law office of Nick Namath.
If you're facing IRS problems, call me, Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath, the DFW tax attorney, for a free consultation at 972-484-0829 or go to myiRSteam.com, with offices in Dallas and Fort Worth.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
Breaking news, traffic, and weather alerts through push notifications sent to your phone. So you can keep connected, DFW. Just download the free WBAP app today.
Hey there, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. This has been about a mild as summers. We've had a long time, but it could only last so long. It couldn't last forever. So now it looks like we finally have a heat wave coming in. Joining me now is Dallas radio legend Brad Barton, WBAP chief meteorologist. Easy crowd. Come on, man. It's just the weather guy. They don't cheer like that for me. Brad, how bad is this heat wave going to get, and how long is it going to last?
Yeah, nor me either, by the way. Well, this is a pretty routine heat wave in all. We're getting up to 100 pretty regularly now each afternoon somewhere across DFW. Fortunately, the moisture, all the rain that we had during May and June has pretty well evaporated from the ground, and so our relative humidity is pretty low, and we're not getting a lot of Gulf moisture coming in here right now because the big high-pressure heat dome that's on top of us is kind of forcing that stuff back down to the Gulf. So, all in all, we're hot, we're not real humid, but there is a kind of a new metric that we're using.
Is this the stress?
The heat stress index is one thing. The heat stress index has some limitations because it's based basically on temperature and relative humidity. Now, the other thing that we have, which only a nerd could invent, is called the wet bulb globe temperature.
Oh, I heard you mention that before, the wet bulb globe temperature. So I was thinking in my head, when you wake up in the morning and you have the AC on in the summertime, but you look outside and it's before the sun comes up, sometimes you have condensation on your window like a Dr. Pepper can. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, yeah, it's kind of how the wet bulb works. Without getting into the weeds of what a wet bulb is and what a dry bulb is and what a black globe bulb is, we'll just say this. The wet bulb globe temperature, it's been developed since the 50s, by the way. The military started out with this because they had recruits who were dying in training camp, in training in the heat. And so they came up with a new way to kind of measure heat stress that's not just temperature and humidity. This is measured in direct sunlight. It uses temperature. It uses the relative humidity. It also accounts for a little bit of wind. It also accounts for the amount of cloud cover that we have, which is not much today. And it also takes into account the sun angle this time of year. So it puts all these things together. And the wet bulb globe temperature is usually a little bit lower than the heat stress index. But again, it's figured in direct sunlight. And what it comes up with, it's not so much a temperature as an index. So today, just for instance, okay, I'm sorry, let me computer. Okay, so for today, let's just say, hey, my computer locks up here. That's wonderful. Okay, got it now. Okay, so today it's like 100 degrees. Relative humidity is only about 32%. We have an 8-mile-an-hour wind. We have 20% cloud cover, okay? And that gives us a wet bulb globe temperature estimated, okay? This is an estimated thing, just like the heat index. Heat index like 103 right now, but the wet bulb globe temperature is 86 degrees. And again, to me, it's more of an index than a temperature. But if it's, so then you have these, I would say, precautions for each level. So 80 to 85, working or exercising in direct sunlight will stress your body after 45 minutes. So 45 minutes out of an hour, you can work, and then 15 minutes, you need to take a break. If it's 85 to 88, which it is now, they're saying it should be about half and half. You can be out in the sunlight, working, exercising, practicing football, practicing band for 30 minutes, but then you need to take a break for 30 minutes. You get to 88, 90, it's like 20 minutes of outdoor work and 40 minutes of rest, and 90 and above, 15 minutes of work and 45 minutes of rest. That's kind of how it works.
All right. If it gets any hotter than that, Brad will come out and put a velvet pillow under your butt. God.
Oh, boy.
Why do we baby people so much? I don't remember when I was a kid, if it was 108 degrees, it was still go mow the lawn, go to football practice. Shut up. Yeah.
Take a salt tablet, right?
Right. All right. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate the update.
Y'all be careful out there.
Man, I hate keeping him up this late because he has to wake up at like 2 in the morning to do that morning show. So that's a super nice guy to be on our show too. Thank you for hanging on, Cooper and Duncan. I guess Duncan, Oklahoma. You're on the James Show on WBAP. What do you think, sir? Hello? Cooper and Duncan, you're on the James Show. Go.
A couple points here. I'm fairly shocked by Harris's choice for her VP. Not very progressive of her. I mean, where's the DEI hire?
It's funny. We get so used to misusing the word diversity that in political context, diversity, we know it means anti-white. But technically, the dictionary definition of the word diversity, this is a diverse pick. She's Black Indian female. Now, she's filling in with a white male. They are not the same, but this is a great illustration of how in the very 1984 Orwellian newspeak definition of the word diversity, it's been misused so much that we're now misusing it. But I know what you mean. This doesn't fit their definition of diversity. It's got one of the, I mean, is Tim Walz, is he worse than a bear, Cooper?
I don't know, man. I feel like it's just cookie cutter. I don't know. She's trying to appease a certain crowd, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I kind of like, and thank you for your call. I kind of like this comment that just popped up on the screen over here from Facebook. Who said this? Dawn. Yeah, Don said, no one votes for VP. Most people couldn't remember one from the last 25 years without looking it up. Listen, I wouldn't even go back that far. I've done this, and thank you for your call, Cooper. I've done the old man on the street. I've been the radio producer out just asking random people on the street questions about the news of the day or the next election or whatever. And I remember in 2016, I went out to the street. I asked 10 people who Hillary's running mate was. She couldn't, no, not one of them knew. The first 10 people I asked, not one of them knew. It was already chosen. It was already after the convention. It was between the convention and the election. And I did that with the specific intent of showing you how uninformed most voters are. Right now, if I went out with a microphone and I asked anyone Hillary's running mate, even fewer would know. How could fewer than zero know? I don't know. But do you even remember who Hillary's running mate was? Garrett. Is he even in there? Do you remember Hillary's running mate in 2016? No, exactly. By the way, y'all, it was Tim Kaine. Focus. No, that's a great illustration, though. Duncan's right. Don's right. This VP pick, it's going to be completely inconsequential, and especially if she loses, no one will remember this guy's name in 8 years. 800-288-9227 if you got any comments on the news of the day. Most notably, Tim Walz being chosen as Kamala Harris's running mate. 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Have you heard the news today?
Tim Walz was the guy who let rioters burn down Minneapolis.
President Biden actually ignoring repeated questions from Fox Business about the stock market.
Monday's market sell-off has many people asking if the U.S. is on the brink of a recession.
We're going to get hit. We're all watching it happen in real time.
Don't miss a thing. Stay connected for whatever's next.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
This is Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. I've competed in more than 25 triathlons, but what really gets my heart pumping is helping fellow Texans injured in accidents. I'll go the distance for you. Get your free case review at wilhitewins.com.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Ever since I was a kid, I looked up to my dad. Man, he could fix anything, including power generators. That puff of smoke and the sound of the machine roaring with electricity was the coolest thing ever. He'd give me a high five and say, "Son, you're the Kenerator." Since then, I've spent decades building my company with one goal, helping people like my dad did. And now, I own the best generator company in DFW. See our story at Kenerator.com. Like generator with a K. Kenerator.com.
Shane Mullen with Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. With all the ads for injury lawyers, choosing the right firm can be confusing. Trust 41 years of experience. Join the family that fights for yours. Call for a free consultation. 214-INJURED. MullenandMullen.com. No recovery, no expense or fees. Been that that way since 83.
The doctor's office that mixed up your files has your Social Security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info and last 3 addresses. Your info is in endless places that could accidentally expose your info to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Paul, what's that sound in your attic?
Oh, yeah, that's just the devil.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he goes up there in the Texas summers. Says it's hotter than hell up there. He loves it.
Paul, that's insane.
Hey, Paul. I'm going to be late on rent again. Not sorry. Also, that new haircut is horrible.
If your attic is more than 20 degrees hotter than the outside temperature, you're damaging your HVAC system, your roof, and wasting your money. At Firehouse Roofing, we see that 7 out of 10 homes in DFW have this problem, and we have a super easy solution. Introducing the Firehouse Attic Diagnosis for only $55. Our trucks are in every single neighborhood every week, so it's super easy for us to stop by, check the status of your attic, and create a custom ventilation and insulation plan. Plus, if you decide to move forward with any work, we will waive the cost of your diagnosis completely. Call Firehouse today and ask for our attic diagnosis.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse roof.
Got delays on I-30 eastbound at FM 551. Left lane still taken away for the wreck. The back up there to Goliad. Also 635 eastbound at the Dallas North Tollway. That one's still taken away 2 right lanes. It's heavy back to about Josie Lane. 75 northbound at Park Boulevard in Plano. The right lane's blocked. That back up to Beltline Road. 183 westbound at Euless, Maine. Finally got one off to the shoulder. With WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
This report is brought to you by GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
The check is good, the experience is smooth, and the reviews online are wonderful at GiveMeTheVIN.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. You got any comments on Tim Walz being chosen as Kamala Harris's VP? You might want to get your calls in right now. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. I can only imagine what Mark Levin's going to say here in about 15 minutes. I bet you he's not going to be a big fan of her pick. And he shouldn't be. It's not that it's a hack move and anyone they pick he's not going to like, but this is another one who doesn't pass the litmus test on what we consider sort of the team blue that hasn't lost their mind. And I love the litmus test on just ask, do you think men can get pregnant? If you do, then you're obviously willing to suspend disbelief on whatever your bettors tell you. You can say 2 + 2 = 5, just like you were told to in 1984. And that's not anyone that I know in person. And maybe it's because of what I do and people know that I'm a talk radio host and they just lie to me because they don't want to deal with me going, oh, come on, you really think men can have a baby? I don't know. But I haven't met one person that genuinely thinks, dude, one of my best friends is married to a huge, like a Bernie bro lady. She's from Longview. Loves for our entire lives. I've known her for 25 years. Democrat all the way, every way. Will never vote for Republicans. She thinks we're all Nazis and Hitler and probably worse. But she doesn't think men can have a baby. However, I know her. I know she would like this pick. I know basically you could put anybody up against Donald Trump. This woman hates Donald Trump so bad. that Tim Walz, dude, she's loving it. This is great. So it really doesn't matter what I think and what you think. There's just this small little tiny group of people who are actually capable of changing their votes from election to election. And I mean, it is like maybe 5% of the population is what we call the undecided, the swing voters. A lot of these people are new. A lot of these people are doing the natural evolution where you're liberal when you're young, and as you get older, you slowly drift to the right. But there's only a small group of people that even have a chance to change their mind. And this election, more so than any, people had their minds made up before the primaries even started. We knew whether or not you liked Donald Trump or not long before the first primary debate that happened with the Republican Party, before the Iowa caucus, before any of that. It's been decided more so than any. So for the window of opportunity for people to win over voters, I think this is the smallest we've seen it in our lifetime, number one. And number two, what does that mean if you're not changing anybody's mind? Then it's all about turnout. Your voters, you don't have to worry about them going and voting for the other side. You have to worry about them not being enthused enough to make time in their schedule to go vote, to not do, I don't know, early voting or mail-in voting or absentee voting or whatever your jurisdiction allows. It's the complacency that is the most dangerous thing in an election cycle like this. Something I dug out. You know, we had some Iran news today, a couple of pieces of that. Number one, we're finding out in the story that I first reported to you yesterday, there was the missile strike on the Iraqi air base that has American troops in it. I believe the latest report was 5 injuries reported to American soldiers. I didn't hear of any deaths yet, but that could change, often does in a situation like this. On top of that, in more Iranian news, there was an arrest of a guy who's a Pakistani national, but it's reported that he has ties to Iran, whatever that means. And he was arrested because he was trying to hire an undercover FBI agent posing as a hitman to do a political assassination on a high-ranking U.S. official. And the speculation in the report we read earlier from Fox News says it includes, could have been, Donald Trump. Okay, that's a big one. Also, there's one other news update since the James Show started over in the Middle East. You know, the Middle East, they never calm down over there. They only have like very, very short-term calm sessions, and that is just the norm for crap to be going off over there all the time. But we have a Houthi update. There was a couple anti-ballistic missile batteries and a Houthi drone that was shot down. And Houthis are backed by who? Iran. Well, dang, Iran's causing a whole lot of problems lately. Iran's mad that their surrogates, the leaders of Hamas and Hezbollah, got themselves unalived by Israel last week. We've been thinking an attack from Iran on Israel is imminent. They've been saying it, that's why. However, let me just remind you, this is John Bolton in August of 2010 saying there may be wartime strikes between Iran and Israel as soon as this week. And I don't mean this week now. I mean this week like 14 years ago when he said this. So not only was he wrong, he's been wrong by at least 14 years.
Well, Israel's got a problem because once the fuel rods are inserted into the reactor, an attack on the reactor would almost certainly release radiation into the atmosphere, given where Bushehr is located, right on the Persian Gulf, possibly into the water as well. So from Israel's point of view, if they were going to do anything militarily about Bushehr, they've only got a few days until the fuel rods are inserted. Their problem is, of course, they've got the rest of Iran's nuclear weapons program, the uranium enrichment.
Okay, so they didn't strike. Is there a problem? Do they have an operating nuclear reactor now? We had mere days. There was the urgency that we had to strike within days or Iran was going to be past the point of no return. Here we are 14 years later, still hasn't happened. Isn't that scary? The people that are so anxious to get us into a war with another major power like Iran, not that they're a co-equal superpower, but they're not going to be a easy pushover like Afghanistan was, for as easy of a pushover as that was, to loosely use the term. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. Keep it right here on WBAP. We're going to keep an eye on this election. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on with the foreign policy, overseas wars. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on in your own backyard in Dallas, Fort Worth area, North Texas. Thank you very much for being a part of the show today. Stick around. Coming up next is my buddy Mark Levin. He's going to have some hot opinions about Tim Walz. I'm just going to sit down and listen to him with you. But also Green Day is coming to Globe Life Field September 11th. Special guests the Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas. Get tickets now, Ticketmaster.com, or you could text GREEN to 800-288-9227 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Green Day. GREEN to 800-288-9227. 9227. Thanks for hanging out on the James Show. I'm James Parker. This is News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, my friend and realtor Dan Harker and Empower Home Team have done it again. Hi, Brad Barton, and here's another reason that I continue to recommend Dan Harker and Empower Home Team with Keller Williams. Dan Harker just sold Roger and Angela's home for $30,000 over asking price and in record time. And they did this by using Empower Home Team's exclusive database of thousands of ready home buyers. They're out there and ready to buy. Sure, you can hire any agent. Chances are they'll sell your home eventually. But here's the question. Can they get you a lot more money than you thought was possible? It's all about what you put in your pocket when your home finally closes, right? That's why I always recommend Dan Harker and the Empower Home Team. Now, it's crucial for you to have their top-performing home buyer system and their years of experience working for you when selling your home. Dan wants to talk to you right away. And more important, if you have a home to sell, you need to talk to Dan Harker right away. So here's the number, 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD, or visit HarkerHasTheBuyers.com. That's HarkerHasTheBuyers.com.
Rotten egg smelling water? Who can stand it? Are you tired of feeling like you don't smell your best when you are headed off to work? Nations Pure is the company that changes that. In fact, we are so confident in our odor obliterating skills that we have put our money where our sniffer is. That's right, a money-back guarantee that by the time our techs leave your driveway, that rotten egg smell will be nothing but a stinky memory. Say goodbye to crinkled noses and hello to freshness. With Nations Pure, it's not just about making do, it's about making that rotten egg smell gone for good. My name is Cara, and I will personally schedule your free on-site water test. Call us today at 888-763-0050. That's 888-763-0050. Or go online to nationspure.com and let's talk about your water solutions.
Hey, North Texas, I've been talking up the great folks at Clarity Windows and Doors family for over 20 years now, especially the energy savings we achieved with high-efficiency windows and doors. Also, the added beauty, curb appeal, and the value they add to your home. These windows also keep out the dust and the pollen and the street noise. But the real advantage is saving wear and tear, extending the life of your heating and cooling system. You know, North Texas weather's a roller coaster. Heat, humidity, cold, wind, noise, dust. But Clarity Windows can help control your in-home temperatures and air quality, taking a big load off your